of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, welcome in. I'm starting another stream with this Levy out balloon because you know what? I liked it. I like the balloons. But hello, good afternoon. Welcome into another Tuesday show. Time to talk about it with the Perchy TV. Perchy, my friend, is joining me. Big ups to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone taking part in the poll and who's liked the video as well. Big ups to everyone. If you're watching this back on replay as well, please do smash that like on your way in. Please do. Someone just texted me my own show link. I was like, why are you texting me that? But I appreciate people letting me know that I am live. Hopefully you just got notified that I went live. But big ups. Michael is at work, so as you can tell, I had to bring in another Top Gun ace to the show. Perchy from the Perchy TV. How are you doing, my friend? Talk to me while I pull up. I'm actually going to edit the title of this show. I'm going to put Perchy's link in that as well. So that way it's just a little bit easier for you guys. If y'all want to go subscribe to the Perch, show some love as well. He's on the road to 1K. First, we got to hit that 600. And I think you're what, like 5 away?
5 of 600. And we can start of the journey to 1,000, mate. But yeah, no, thank you for a very kind intro, by the way. No, it's good to be back. It feels like for ages since we've been on here and together, and you've been on mine for a few times. But yeah, no, I've been good. We've got a few more days left, and then we don't have to watch Tottenham anymore. I mean, that is the beauty, by the way. The absolute beauty is to not watch Tottenham after Sunday. Yeah, no, but all things are good, mate. The sun is shining. We're living the dream.
Absolutely. Hey, the sun is shining. It sounds like a good day out there where you are. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. It's actually really early in the morning for me. Well, not really early. It's 10:30. But a little early for me, so a little earlier than usual for me going live. But I did save the title. So in the title, you should be able to see the Perchy TV. It is in the title. I'll put it in the link in just a second. But I'm going to say what's up to the chat real quick before we continue going. But I do appreciate it. Happy Tuesday, everyone. The week is just kicking off. So hopefully you're enjoying yourself. DJ Green Alert, big up, says liked and subbed, and we'll see you later. Bye for now. Big up, DJ. Big up H Talks as well. If you're a Chelsea fan, you want to digest some Chelsea content, go check out H Talks Chelsea. Started up his channel recently as well. Big up Jacob, hope the family's well. Everyone smash the likes. If a Chelsea fan can tell you to smash the likes, then clearly you should smash the like if you're a Spurs fan. That's just my opinion. Big up OG says, big up the only good Spurs channel. There's a few good Spurs channels out there. I will be... What? There's Perchy. Sub to the Perchy. That's another great. That's one. I got channel. Exactly. There's a few others. I'm not gonna name drop no one right now, but you know who you are. You good people. Big up Ellie as well. Jacob, I love the Taco Tuesdays. They are discussing tasty topics. Absolutely. What are you gonna fill the taco with today? That's kind of the question in the poll. So hopefully you can hit the like, participate in the poll, let me know your thoughts. And of course, with 30% of the vote is what? Because I knew a lot of people were gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about, Jacob? Your questions in the chat are quite outrageous, but nonetheless, we move. Jack, big up Jack Kanicki from the Irish Hotspur. Hope you're doing well and your travels. It says, just got back from Texas, lads. I can still taste the barbacoa, lingua, and campechano. I hope I said that right. But them tacos, I know you had some good when you're in Texas, Jack. Hope you enjoyed your time. Hopefully my state treated you with the utmost royalty that you deserve, my friend. So big up yourself. Big up Richard Evans, says big up Jacob. Big up Cursor as well, like secured. Tyson McGill in the house says, hey bros, can't wait for the show. Big up Elias. I believe that Elias is the first channel member checking in. So big up Elias for picking up that membership, Lover's Lane. You can hit that. There's a description. There's a join button. It's in the description. I ain't going to plug it too much. But if you fancy becoming a member, being like Elias joining the Lover's Lane, or being like Ben Kaufman. Ben Kaufman's actually subscribed to the YouTube channel and to the Patreon. So big up yourselves if you've done that and gone the extra mile. Tyson McGill says, just subscribe. Big up, Tyson. You were here last week telling me I was the best show ever, and now you just subscribed. I'm glad that we got your subscription. That sounds like Some hard work there. Lisa, big up, guys. I know you don't care if I'm here. Yeah, I saw the tweet. Yeah, I got lazy with the tweet this morning, Lisa, just because I feel like no one really clicks on the tweet. No one really cares about what I tweet, so I just kind of tweet whatever. So I was curious if anyone would actually click the link, because I was like, here's the link. Yeah, I don't care. But big up yourself, Lisa. Hope you're doing well in sunny Mexico today. Big up. Vestal says, love you, Jay. Big up. Thank you for that. Ben Kaufman, member of the Lovers Lane, checking in as well. Evening, everyone. Big up, Ben. Big up, Mia from Spurs Between the Lines says, hey, guys, hope you both are good. Yeah, Mia, doing good for the most part. There's a few things I want to talk about. Maybe not so good. Maybe, Lisa, you do always like the tweets. You do always like the tweets. So big up yourself. Appreciate that. 11 votes in the poll says, what is the meat to your Tottenham taco today? 27% says what, because they don't know what I'm talking about. 18% Levy Enoch, like every taco. Arne Slot seems to be the front runner. Oh, he just lost a vote. Depression/season over, please. We put that one in there for you, Percy, because I asked you, how are you feeling? What's your taco feeling like today? You said depression.
Nah, a little bit. I'm just bored. I think the boredom of Tottenham at the moment, as I said, like I'm just ready for the weekend, for the season to be over. I can't wait just to have weekends back to myself and not worrying about watching this absolute dross of a football team playing. I'm at the point of just, do you know what? Let's move on to something a bit different at the end of the season. Now, the season's over. We're going to be rooted into 8th, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The season's
so exciting. It's so exciting what's happening at the bottom of the table. It's so exciting.
Of course.
What's happening. I guess all the other spots is pretty much decided, right? United is into the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken.
No. They still need to get 1 point. Liverpool could still nick it on the final day but Man United are playing Chelsea tomorrow. No, Thursday. If Man United lose both games and Liverpool win their last game, then they will nick it off them.
Big up Talking Ball says, Ayo, Uncle Call checking in. Big up, everyone. Big up Colin from Talking Ball. Ian Ferguson, afternoon, all best lunch break show there is. Oh, that's kind words, man. Kind words. Big up yourself, Ian. Hope you're doing all right with your Tuesday work day. Tyson McGill says, let's put some seasoning on this boring season. Big up Mile High Hotspur, member of the 10-inch club. Big up yourself, Leo. Hope you're doing all right today. My brother says, sup, my homies. Glad I was able to catch some of the stream. Big up US of A and Perchy. Big up Mile High Hotspur. Go check him out as well. Big supporter of the channel. Big member there as well. Big up yourselves. Big up Five Guys says, big up gents and everyone in the chat. And Bill says, 5th option, Romero. That is actually, Perchy said he's ready to flame me today about my Romero takes. I'm ready to go to war about my Romero takes. Don't you worry about that, Perchy. I have my coffee. I've been sipping my coffee throughout the intro, so I'm ready for that. Real quick, I do want to bring in a grandfather of the channel. He's not really a grandfather, but he's still kind of like a grandfather of the channel. Colin, how are you doing, my friend? I think your mic isn't working.
Nope, and it's working. It's working.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to say, hey, yeah, doing well. Always happy whenever you guys go live. It's always a nice little sparkle. Add some sparkle to my day. So
appreciate that. That.
Yeah. Big up.
I don't think I met you, Perchy. Very nice to meet you in person.
To catch you.
This is Colin from Talking Ball.
I've seen you in streams. We haven't done one together, but here we go. We can do this. This will be good.
You know, someone else you can beat up on for their opinions, Perchy, because I know you're ready to go to war about Romero.
Oh, I will go to war big time. I'm
gonna save it. I want to save it a little bit.
Teaser.
Yeah, just a little foreshadowing, if you will. Maybe in the meat of the episode, we'll do the Romero thing. There is something I did want to talk about. I know Harry Kane's been the hot topic on people's tongues as of late. Big up Paul Brown. Evening, Jacob Perchy. To hell with the current ongoings. Just hope everything's good with you guys. Everything's good over here, brother. Hope you're good as well. Big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Leo, the homie, says, Ben Kaufman. Everyone's showing some love. Can I have Romero the other way? Oh, the first option. You want him the first. I see what you're going there. Zelda T-shirt. Yeah, Colin's repping the Zelda. Did you before we start any Spurs? Did you play the new Zelda, Colin? Really quick, did you play the new?
No, no.
No, me either.
It's been since Super Nintendo, or no, wait, no, N64. I played Ocarina of Time.
N64 Zelda I played.
Yeah, the one where you got the horse, right, and you can ride around.
Yeah,
I remember that. You play the flute, get the horse. That was my favorite part about that. I don't remember much else other than that. But back to Spurs. Ben Kaufman, you need to stream your Zelda gameplay. At least record it on your PlayStation or whatever, and then upload it so people like me can watch the game. Because I can't. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be buying it personally. So that's just me. But first thing I did want to talk about, just right off the jump, Harry Kane. People are talking about will he, won't he, maybe, I don't know, if so facto. So I'm kind of just, I don't think we'd be Perchy, I'm just going to go straight at you. Heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do,
sure,
that without Harry Kane, we'd be in a relegation fight. And I've heard 100 people say that, and I vehemently disagree because, yes, he's scored 28 goals this season. Outstanding. Fantastic. But I would argue at least 30-40% of that would have been scored by some other striker or someone else in our attack if Harry Kane wasn't there. So that would at least put us right around Chelsea area. So not relegation per se.
Yeah, I'll kind of correct you. I didn't say we'd be relegated, but we'd be in a relegation battle. I think we'd be in that conversation at the moment, currently. I mean, right now, we are in relegation form. We've got 2 wins out of 12. We're in relegation form. There's teams down the bottom that have scored more points than us, by the way. And that's with Harry Kane, by the way. This is with a world-class 28-goal a season striker. For me...
Who scored more than us? Below us?
Scored more points.
Oh, more...
Out of these last 12 matches, you mean?
Yeah, over 12 games, there's teams down the bottom fighting relegation that have got more points than us in the last 12 games.
Well, the 12 games is a part of the whole story. I mean, you're not in a relegation battle from the last 12 games you've played.
But I'm talking about, when I say this on right now, here and now. I know we try and talk about collective. Yeah, earlier in the season, if it wasn't for that good run at the start of the season, we would be in that conversation, by the way. Our form has absolute nosedive.
Well, if it rained cats and dogs, we'd all be pet owners. But you know what I'm saying? I just feel like the argument is kind of like, if this, if that. Well, yeah. Okay. And if it wasn't, if it was the exact opposite as you're saying, then it would be the exact opposite. So like, it doesn't seem.
But yeah, of course. If buts and maybes. If my auntie was a man, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All if buts and maybes and all that lot. But for me, the biggest concern is look, take Harry Kane out right now. And I know it's not as simple as going, you take Harry Kane out and it like that. Richarlison, 1 goal. Kulusevski, 2 goals. Heung-min Son was crap for most of the season.
But you would also have
he's
to
actually done all right for the last quarter. But my point being is that without actual guarantee of goals, where do our goals come from? Realistically, where do they? If you took Harry Kane out tomorrow, where does our goals come from? Genuinely,
Son, and maybe Richarlison playing at the 9, maybe.
Okay, but my point is,
Danjuma can score.
Huh?
Danjuma can score. He can
score when he doesn't even try. Let's think about that.
When we say can score, yes, he can score a couple of goals every 5 games here and there. Yeah, that's great. I'm all about score every single game because that's what Harry Kane at the moment is having to do. Harry Kane is at the point where he has to score goals or we don't win games of football. And that unfortunately, that for me, unfortunately, is the biggest problem. And yeah, I'm seeing in the chat like Heung-min Son. Yeah, Heung-min Son's a great player, but he doesn't score every game. He doesn't score week in, week out. And I'm not talking about him collectively. I'm talking about him this season. If we talk about this season, he scored 10 goals in the league. We need someone that can score more than 10 goals in the league if you take Harry Kane out. As I said, Harry Kane in this crap Tottenham side has scored 28 goals in the league. I'm sorry, I think when we talk about achievements in Norna, that's nearly incredible. Like he's what? I think it's 8 goals behind Erling Haaland who is playing at Manchester City, by the way. Like, put that into consideration. He scored 8 goals less than a man that is being assisted by the likes of Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden. Do you know what I mean? The list, Jack Grealish, the list links on. Harry Kane is having to do it with the likes of what? Richarlison, Kulusevski. Do you know what I mean? You get the content of what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
What Harry Kane is doing is nearly incredible.
Yeah, but I would still argue that's why I said 30 to 40% of the goals that he's scored to this point. And I'm not talking the last 12 games. I'm talking the whole season in a whole. All right, so 30 to 40% of those, I wholeheartedly believe someone else is going to score, whether it be from the. I'm hearing an echo out of someone's.
Is it me? It might be.
No, Colin's muted, so it might be you. Yeah, Perchy. But my point being that 30, 40% of those goals, so 28 goals, I'm saying at least 10 of those goals are going to get scored by someone else. Those 10 goals.
Who?
What? Who?
No, who? You say
Son.
they're going to be scored by somebody who?
Son.
Because
Youngman Son.
bear in mind, with Harry Kane in the side, Kulusevski has managed 2 goals all season, by the way.
I mean, I agree. So, but my point with the argument, why I guess I'm trying to poke holes in the argument of without Harry Kane, we'd be relegation battle type squad, which numbers wise you could say yes, but like you got to also factor in the fact that someone's going to be playing those minutes in his role. You got to imagine that there's we're not going to play a man down just because if we take Harry Kane out of the equation. But when we talk about the numbers, then it's like we're playing a man down because no one factors in the fact that someone's going to be scoring those goals. Someone would be in that position that he's playing in, and the results could be looking different. Yes, and the whole game would look different if Harry Kane wasn't playing for us. Let's be honest. Yeah, we might lose more, obviously. But
okay, Jacob, let's use the moments when Harry Kane hasn't played. Look at us then. I mean, we can't even compete with Sheffield United's reserves without Harry Kane. Do you see what I mean? Sheffield United's B team, we couldn't even beat without Harry Kane, and we couldn't beat them with Harry Kane. Do you see the contents of what I'm trying to say? I know it's not as simple as you take Harry Kane out, those goals, and we're not there. But my argument will always be, if Kane wasn't in this team this season, Kane wasn't there, okay, that means Richarlison plays as your number 9. I think we can all agree that will be the system. It'll be
that would likely be that. That's why I thought we bought him in the first place, was to be that.
So with those 3, where are the 28 goals coming from in the league? If that was the season, and I'm playing to be as simple as that, where do the goals come from?
Well, there was a good comment. Yeah, there was a good comment that Jacob just brought up that was talking about penalty goals. Take away all of Kane's penalty goals. Somebody else has got those. Son's pretty, proficient from the spot.
We know Harry Kane is almost guaranteed a penalty goal. When he takes a penalty, he all but guarantees it, minus the odd random one. You don't know. We haven't seen Son take penalties consistently. Will he? He's not going to go and score every single one. Hypothetically, he might do, if buts and maybes. Of course, we're talking hypotheticals, guys. But yeah, like I get the point. Of course, I get the point. I just find the problem at the moment. We are so reliant on Harry Kane to the point when I say we're reliant.
But if we would have that's also my point that I was alluding to earlier, is that if he's not playing in that match, our tactics are completely different. We don't have Kane dropping back in midfield. We have someone in midfield fucking servicing the ball forward. That's my thought. Who? Somebody.
No, Jacob, I do get what you're saying. You are right. But my point is I'm talking about the team right now. I'm not talking about if we go and sign a number 10, if we go and sign this one. I'm talking about right now. You took Harry Kane out of that side. Where's one, the creativity, and 2, where's the goals?
I'm going to say Richarlison, I'm going to say probably about 8-9 goals we could get from Richarlison. I'm going to say another 10 to 12 from Son. Maybe that's being advantageous because that's his
Son's going to get 20 goals without Harry Kane.
I think he could get 18, 19 goals without Harry Kane easy.
So you think he can finish with 18? He's finishing at the moment of the season with 10 goals with Harry Kane, by the way. Do you see my point?
Connection, or is it? Hang on, Perchy. Is it my connection, or is it your?
You're
my
fine for
Colin,
me.
are you? Is he breaking up for you?
No, not at all.
So that must be mine then. I wonder what's going on there. It's just a couple times like you're cutting in and out, so maybe it's my headphones. I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say you're fine for me, and
Okay.
Colin's fine for me.
Well, we are blessed and fortunate enough to be in the presence of another royalty member that's going to be joining the panel here. Maybe he can shed some light into this conversation.
Love it.
I feel like we started talking about it, and it almost brought him to us like a moth to a glowing light or some kind. But without further ado, I'm just going to say big up yourself right now, Mr. Box Office THFC.
Oh, my goat.
How are we doing, my friend?
My goat.
I was all right. I was on the beach, like some of the Tottenham players have been the last how many years, months. You know what I mean? I was on the beach, you know what I mean? On the beach in the Caribbean, you know, listening to soca music, like I said, because I know how to do it in style. You know what I mean? Because Mr. Box Office knows how to do things in style. You know what I mean? You know, I was looking way back, throwback to the 90s. You know what I mean? When there actually was decent music, and listening to some of my idols, Usher, Craig David, you know what I mean? Those sort of people. And you're sitting there looking at those sort of players that I've got, we got at Tottenham Hotspur. You're sitting there thinking, is there an Usher there? Nah. It's like, it's kind of bottom half, isn't it? You know what I mean? Nah.
Just a little bit.
You know what I mean? So that's the whole point, isn't it? But that's how main event works, you know what I mean? Because people telling me that I talk a load of nonsense. Well, I'm still here. What you saying, bruv? You know what I mean? I'm still here.
Speaking of people saying what they're saying, here's some extra caveat into the argument. Big up Mia. Thank you so much for the first super chat of the day. Big up yourself, Mia with Spurs Between the Lines. Says my argument to those is this season we have had a Sonny out of form. Kulu has not been good, and no Benny who helped us as well. Danjuma who could score. So what I'm going to say about this is I agree, but I don't necessarily know. I would push back a little bit on the Sonny out of form. I would say Sonny he's playing left midfielder as opposed to a left forward, kind of what we saw last season. So I prefer Sonny forward. I feel like it might be a little bit of both, being played differently and then also being, you know, a little out of form. I think Korea took a lot out of our players. The World Cup took a lot out of our players. And then, you know, you top that off with a season where you're playing Champions League ball. It's got to be exhausting but I don't think that's an excuse for Kulu. He didn't go to the World Cup, so he should be firing on all cylinders. I don't understand the Kulu thing, why he hasn't been good. Man. Yeah,
he got figured out. He's got a very one-dimensional play style.
Yeah,
and
great.
Once you figure that out, he's gonna cut down. You know, go down the byline, cut it in, and then try to get a shot off with his left foot. I mean, it's cookie cutter every time, you know, and
Agreed.
Once you figure out how to stop that, he's a far less effective player. He had the benefit of coming into the league where he wasn't as well known. So his first season, he looked great. And then now he's going to have to either adapt and change his game up a bit or just be a less effective player.
I hear you, Colin, and I agree with you. Sorry, I was trying to navigate through the YouTube here.
No, I absolutely bang on. And do you know what? I think his injury hasn't helped him as well. The injuries, he's lost a yard of pace easy, maybe even more.
And he didn't really have any to spare.
Exactly. He wasn't the quickest player in the world. He's lost a bit of pace. You can tell. Like he looks like he's running with weights on his feet, like around his legs. He's running with like kilo weights around his ankles, and he's struggling to and it's painful. And listen, here's the question, and it's a question that gets asked now: do you sign Kulusevski now?
No.
Genuinely.
No.
If £35 million is the fee that we have to pay for him, do you buy him?
Nope.
I think, yeah. I mean, we spent 40 some on fucking Sanchez. What did he show us that at least Kulusevski has shown the ability but he's shown the ability to at least do a job. Yes, he hasn't done that job this season, but that doesn't mean that he can't. He's a leader. I see it from a lot of angles, and he's a starter for his national team, but also look where he plays for his national team. He plays as a right striker, a right forward. And again, the tactics we've been using for primarily the season is asking the left and the right up top to more play a midfield role rather than that forward role, which is taking away the things that make him good. He doesn't have the pace of Sonny to even turn. I mean, we saw it last match. He couldn't get up the field past everybody, even when he had his I think it was like what, 2-on-1, something like that, and he couldn't even put the burners on. So
we're doing it again.
But Jacob, yeah, no, I was just going to say, Alex, sorry, just to jump in. But this is what I was going to say to you, Jacob. It looks like, if all things of what we're hearing are right, that Arne Slot's going to be our manager next. From all the reports, it's all coming out that Arne Slot is very close to being Spurs manager. Hypothetically, let's say that's done.
okay.
What is one of the key things that Arne Slot does as a manager? He plays high intense pressing football. You're not going to get that from Kulusevski. And listen, I'm not here saying that we should buy or not buy, by the way, before people jump at me. I'm just making the argument for it. That is exactly the wrong player for the manager. And as what Alex, I think you were just about to allude to, so I'm just going to sort of say, isn't that exactly what we've been doing every single season for the last decade or more?
You hit the nail on the head straight away.
Hmm?
Sorry to interrupt you, bro, but you just hit the nail straight on the head. You bang on. You just said what you said just now. Bang on. Absolutely bang on. Yeah.
We've been doing this for so long. And hear me out. And my other point is, are people only happy to sign Kulusevski because he's got a really cool song? And I'm being genuinely serious. Is the only reason because he's our ginger from Sweden? He came from Juventus. He's our number 21. He's the only reason.
Partial. That is a fantastic song. I enjoy the song.
I don't want to sign a player for a song. I want him to fit the system.
I agree, and obviously, I'm just saying like it's a fun song. If you don't like ABBA, I don't know what's wrong with you.
No, I mean I love ABBA, of course. Who doesn't?
Right,
like
you
ABBA?
don't sign a player based on his song in correlation to ABBA.
I'm just trying.
I could see the aspect of 35 mil being too much for a player of what are you going to get. But again, I feel like his age and what he has shown is the ability to do nice things. Yes, it is a little one-dimensional at times, but some people said the same thing about Gareth Bale and his left foot when he got older. But it doesn't matter. He was still winning things. So I think that he can offer us something. Now, if you tell me, okay, we could get, say, Alan Saint-Maximin for 38, okay, well then, yeah, give me Alan Saint-Maximin for 38.
Really? You'd have him?
I'm just giving an example.
I was going to say, I thought you were being serious.
I'm just throwing out an instant name who I would say, okay, I wouldn't mind spending 35 or thereabouts for him rather than Kulusevski. But
Brian
who are we
Hill
going to get?
35.
Brian Hill, don't get me started on Brian Hill because
I'm just saying Brian Hill was basically a 35 million signing. I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean, and he's about to go and win the Europa League, by the way.
Big up, Mia. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Can I just say how I think
on Brian Hill and Lamella's back? Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Can
the main event just make himself known, make himself known, and show you what I'm thinking?
Oh yeah, tell me now.
I'm telling you what my thinking is. What's the spine of the Tottenham team? The spine of the Tottenham team is, in my eyes, at the moment, the goalkeeper. There's a question mark. You've got Romero. Okay. Okay, if you can't find a partner for him, get rid. But he's going to be our essential defender. Bissouma is my midfielder, 100% all day long, every single day. Yeah, and if Harry Kane, well, to his detriment, if he wants to stay at Tottenham, that's his loss. But the point is, yeah, he's our main striker up front. Yeah, and then you're working round who is going to fit with those players, and that's it. Yeah, because there's a difference between why it worked with Dembele and Venyama, because they worked like a train. That's it. Yeah. There's a reason why Alderweireld and Vertonghen worked, because they worked well and they connected well. The characteristics connected well straight away. It's like a relationship. One person coming together, all as one. That's all it is. And Tottenham Hotspur haven't got that at the moment. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
No,
so there's no point of bringing in Daryl Denton as well.
There's no point of trying to fit in people in square holes, and that's it. Yeah, so
round peg, square holes. Agreed.
Exactly. Because so if Kulu doesn't fit the system, get rid. Sorry.
But do we have a system? Do we have a system right now? We don't have a manager. So if the next manager wants him,
but the point
we have to build our midfield around Bissouma.
But my point is, if Arne Slot is our next manager, right, he's got to have the choice of what he wants to do. Yeah,
Agreed.
so it's the reason why Ten Hag, right? Ten Hag worked at Manchester United because he said, if I'm coming to Manchester United, you're doing it my way, and that's it. And look at where Manchester United are, and look where Tottenham Hotspur are. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a reason why Pochettino worked out at Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Big
And
up, Steve.
by the way, yeah, we're talking too much about Arne Slot is a perfect on paper. Yeah. Let's be careful what we say here, yeah, because we know what other fans are going to start saying. Oh, that was a perfect person. If he fails next season, watch the Cats are going to come in straight up out for us straight
No,
away. You know what I mean?
I haven't said he's the perfect one at all.
Well,
I know.
I've heard the words. I've heard the words from other people.
Alex, I think a lot of things on social media, a lot of people just jump to the grandeur of a thing. I think for us at the moment, and I'm as level-headed as they come, by the way, and that I think Slot coming in has the hallmarks of it going well. It has very much the hallmarks of the Pochettino appointment. I'm not saying they're the same at all. I'm not trying to say that, but Slot likes working with younger players. It's notable with the lads that he has finaled are in their sort of 18 to 25 bracket, a lot of them. So realistically,
it is interesting, but I hear all of y'all and I agree with a lot of what you're saying, because to me, if we don't have a director of football or a damn manager, how can we know whether Kulu would fit a system or not, regardless of what we rate him as a player?
And that's
Big up Hotspurs for signing up for the membership.
That's my point. That's my point, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you. And that's another point as well, because that's another worry for me, the director of football. Because for me, okay, whether he's perfect on paper, which again, it was perfect on paper for Pochettino. It was perfect on paper for Mourinho, because that was Daniel Levy's dream signing, by the way, as a manager, by the way, because he wanted him. It was his decision, not the other way round, by the way. Yeah, and Harry Redknapp, yeah, and it worked. It was perfect on paper with Martin Yeo. It ended up being perfect on paper with Martin Yeo. Look what happened there. You know what I mean? Glenn Hoddle. You know, look what all these managers worked out. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, yeah, the director of football is so important. I'm sorry, the director of football is so important, yeah, and they need to sort that out. Need to sort that out.
It's the combination, isn't it, Alex? Let's be honest. There's no point just getting any director of football and then any manager. Both manager and director of football have to have the same ideology, same ethos, same way of thinking, and the same way of playing football. They all have to come together.
It does
just getting in any old DOF and then getting in any old manager. It's not going to work, is it?
Ragnar.
And the thing I wanted to hit on this point. The thing I wanted to hit on this point, though, it does feel like a panic right now because of what happened on Saturday. I have to say that, right? I don't think they would have employed that manager. I would have not gone in for Arnold Slot right now, right? If things didn't pop off on Saturday. I'll tell you now. I don't think that's the case. I think the reason, and this is my genuine thing, I think the thoughts is that we want the manager, but we must have been speaking to his agent, and his agent's gone, he's not interested until he's sorted out the league title final, because all the talk came out once they'd won the league at final. And that's genuinely what I think. I think, and to me, that makes sense. I don't think anyone cares about us at the moment, in the sense of it doesn't. I don't think it really mattered if we'd won or lost against Brentford. I think since the Southampton rant from Conte, ever since then, I don't think there's been actual genuine care. I think the season was done for us, and personally, it was for me. Once we got knocked out of Sheffield United, the season was completely done for me. But I think at the moment, the whole situation with Slot is that his agent was saying, no, he's not talking to anybody until they've won the league at final, because literally 3 or 4 days after that, we started to see Spurs Slot everywhere from reports. And for me, there's no smoke without fire. Things like that don't just come out of nowhere. There's got to be a reason. And it made sense just after they won the league. And that's just how I read it. Personally.
There's a comment that I starred from a while back, and I think it's still relevant to what we're talking about right now. It's from Scott M, and it says, "Kane out of this team, we are Everton, especially with Son off form, Son in form, and no Kane, we are Palace."
Agreed.
And like I said, I said someone gonna be scoring them goals, and I will be hard to think that we wouldn't use Sonny as a prime attacker, like we saw when Kane was down tooling, boo-hooing about Man City move that didn't happen over the summer. We saw Heung-min Daddy step up and be that man. So for me, I think we would be. I think we'd be like Fulham, Palace, Brentford, 9, 10, 11,
Really?
which is not
Without
far
Harry
from where we're
Kane?
at right now. But yes, without Harry Kane, because someone's going to score those goals. Not all of them, granted, not all of them, but how many are penalty? 10. Some of those goals where you said
But you still have to score
some
the
of those
penalty.
goals, that the argument was, oh well, he would get a goal out of nowhere. Well, yeah, some of those times he was our only goal scorer was a penalty.
Okay.
So,
I like.
to
I
me-
don't like
so-
stats normally, but I will check it.
I
actually wanna
like
check how
stats.
many-
I think it's 10. I could be wrong, but I think it's 10. So you give those 10 to someone else. Let's even say they score 9 of those. That's still, that's still 30% of 20, almost.
I'll be
30%,
honest.
28.
I get where you're coming from with the whole Harry Kane thing and not being there and stuff. And we're basically then saying that Heung-min Son has to step up. Heung-min Son hasn't stepped up with Harry Kane this season. That's my argument. And listen, I know there's people in the chat that sort of go, "Oh, we underrate it." No. I think Heung-min Son is a world-class player, so I will judge him like a world-class player. And for this season,
Right.
he has been way below par. If people don't
Well,
judge
he's
him
been
as a world-class
used wrong.
He's
player,
been asked to
Perch, that's-
defend. Yeah,
Hmm?
he's not a defender. He shouldn't. He's wasted tracking back and trying to defend. So he's
then
not
whose
been
fault
played.
was that then?
Conte's.
But
100%.
and
We're not
then
allowed
the
to
next
criticize-
caveat,
but we're
the
not allowed
next
to
little
criticize
burger on top of
Conte.
that would be what? What, Perchy?
We're not allowed to criticize Conte. But
I think you can,
is
yeah.
it Heung-min Son's fault for scoring only 10 goals? And I think most of his goals have actually come in the last quarter of the season. If I'm
Yeah, I
right,
think
someone
like 6 of them.
Someone might correct me.
I think it's
he
like
scored
6 of his
6
out
of his
the
10 have come in this last quarter,
Yeah,
where he's
yeah.
actually started to score goals. Ironically, without Antonio Conte, ironically. But I better not say that because I'll have my head lynched for saying it. I seem to get lynched all the time if I mention his name. But listen, like for me, I think Son's world class. So I will judge him on that basis. I think people get really irritated when I say,
But that's fair.
Son-
It's fair to judge him based on what you've seen from him. That's fair, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I'm a person who will wholeheartedly say I'll defend Son no matter what. Even when he was having his down parts of the season, I was saying he's not being used right. You need to use this man, this weapon, this lethal weapon of a man. You need to use him properly, and then and only then we're playing to not his strengths. We're not playing to his strengths, basically. The fact that he's tracking back and playing Wilfred Zaha, why is he playing defense on Wilfred Zaha?
Jacob,
That
I
was
just-
Mason,
I
I
just
think.
I just
Or
wanted to go back
Stellini.
on one point, by the way, because I've picked up some stats. So you said about penalties. How many penalties do you think Harry Kane scored this season?
I thought 10.
Anyone else?
Colin says 6.
Alex?
10, possibly.
5.
5. So he scored
Thank
5
you.
penalty
I
goals.
will rest my case there.
Okay, so those 5, someone else could score that. Then there's 23 goals that we're talking about at that point.
So
The
we're-
argument
we're-
of taking
we're now
Harry
on
Kane.
minus 19 goal difference, by the way, just from that.
Again, I don't think that is a healthy representation of necessary. Yes, like if you look at it, we're what 4+4, aren't we? Yeah, fucking scored 66 and conceded 62. I mean, obviously the problem is not getting the ball in the back of the net. And again, I don't think
Yeah, because we've got Harry
with
Kane.
with Kane, without Kane, the goals will be scored, and we'd still be just a little bit worse than we are right now. And where my also argument to like all the people who get on their knee pads for Harry Kane, where was he in the final? Where was he in any of these games when we need him to step up? Where was he in the Carabao Cup final?
Mark
Where
out,
has Harry
doubled up on,
Harry
doubled up
Kane's
on,
this
doubled
guy.
up on.
I don't listen to
Harry
him
Kane's
argument.
the guy. I'm having the conversation. Michael's not here, so I can't upset Michael right now. I'm having the conversation. Let's talk about it.
Jacob. The main event's already made this point already, bruv. You're a year too late, bruv. Yeah, I've been making this point a long time ago. I get it in their neck. Not that I'd really care anyway, because the main event's still here. Mr. Botsoff, if you don't know, get to know. But the point I'm making is, you know what I mean? It's like, I've already made the point already about Kane. not turn up in finals, semi-finals. Where has he been? You know what I mean?
Scored 28
Mark
goals
out
versus.
What about
when it
every
don't
single
matter.
other player that Jacob is saying can get us out of a relegation fight? If Kane can't do it, nobody else has done it either.
Can I rephrase this real quick? I just want to ask you guys. I asked this on my channel the other day, but it was on a weird time and no one could watch. So if say an offer for Kane comes in this summer for 80 mil, do you take that, or do you keep Kane for one more year and let him leave on a free?
No, I think this season, I was literally just on Football Heritage TV and we had this exact same debate about it. Do you keep Kane and then let him go on a free, or do you sell him?
I keep him.
However much was that? You think keep?
Yeah, keep. I think the money will be squandered. I don't trust the board and Levy to spend it well.
If £100 million was on the table now, I would take it. However much I love Harry Kane, I would take the money. And there's
Kane carries this team to where, Dan? Where does he carry us to? To 7th place, to 6th place, to 4th place, to runners up?
But Dan's made the point I've been trying to make. Yes, he's carrying this team from surviving relegation.
I mean, we didn't look that bad without him last season when he wasn't playing for Nuno.
He's keeping us from relegation, but at the same time, you would sell him and bring in who?
Because,
you know what I mean? Like,
actually, do you know what? For me, at the moment, we're at a point where we listen. And this is my theory with Harry Kane. You would keep Harry Kane to let him go on a free at the end of the season if we have a chance of winning the league. Literally, it would be the only reason I would. We're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near winning anything. So listen, my theory would be £100 million for Harry Kane. Let's just say Man United or Real Madrid or
take it.
Doesn't matter. I don't care who. £100 million on the table.
Take it.
We have to take it.
90 I'm taking. 80 I'm taking. 70 I'm taking.
What? Nah.
He has 1 year left on his contract before he walks for a free. You either get him gone now.
Get you a Richarlison. Do we want to? I mean, was that 70 million well spent? I don't know. I'm just
no.
I think it shakes out to 70 after.
By the way, that was a crap point.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
quid, I would take it.
100 million, but no one. Here's the thing: United fans don't want to spend 100 mil on Harry Kane.
I bet you. Watch this. Okay, we had this discussion. My theory. Imagine the takeover happens at Man United and the Qataris are in at Man United. What would be the biggest statement for them to do? Hey, Spurs, we're going to put £100 million on the table for Harry Kane. What are you going to do? And we're going to accept it because he's not signing a new contract. Trust me.
But is that the biggest thing they could do in world football?
Huh?
The Qataris come in and splash the cash, right? Is that the biggest move they can make in world football?
No. But
in English football.
No, but think about it. They're at England, taking England's captain, a player who has basically scored 28 goals with that team, 8 goals off record-breaking Erling Haaland, by the way, at Manchester City. Why wouldn't you? Harry Kane puts him in a title conversation next season, just on his own. Wouldn't you?
I mean,
surely you take the money.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think anyone here wouldn't take 100 mil stack.
Colin wouldn't.
I really
Colin's
wouldn't.
a sentimentalist.
No, it's not. It's not even that I love Kane that much. It's just that I don't think there's anybody that we can bring in that'll do.
Well, no, but Colin, I think that ship sailed. I think collectively everyone knows that we're not going to replace what Harry Kane does at all in any way the slightest.
No, and I've never said that, but I'm saying we'll be fine. I think everyone playing
for that.
My whole argument is just I don't think we'd be in this crazy state of affairs that everyone thinks we'd be in without Harry Kane. That's my take on it. I just don't see. Okay, yes, we may not be able to come up with 28 goals with the dross that we have right now, but if we did get this 100 million, then I would argue we could go spend that on another goal scorer who could offer us something, and maybe not in the dropping back sense, but in the getting forward, or maybe we spend 60 on another and get a creative midfielder instead, someone who can service our striker like Richarlison, who scores goals. He can score. I've seen it.
He scores a goal.
But he can score more. I've seen him score more. I'm not saying he can right now, but he has.
Terrible Everton team too. I mean,
And an absolutely
How many
terrible
goals?
Brazil
I
squad
love
as
it.
well.
Let's go and have a little look. I love doing this. This is
Oh,
fun
big up
game.
Goguma. Goguma's in the house.
Big
So
up
happy she
Goguma.
could be here live. Hi, Goguma. Hope you're doing well. Good reminder, we are on 45 minutes. Hopefully everyone can hit that like for me one time for the one time. Show some love. Also go show some love for the Perchy TV and Call, Talk, and Ball and
Big up.
Alex THFC. Is it still Alex THFC or is it Mr. Box Office Alex THFC?
4 away,
Box
guys.
Office TV.
Four-
Mr. Box Office TV, loud and proud, and also exclusive to Alex THFC. And as I said, if you
My
don't know,
guy.
get to know.
Hey,
Back
good
to
to
you,
share
Jake,
some
for
screen
them.
I
time
love
with you,
that.
bro.
What's that, Colin?
Oh, I was saying, Alex, good to share some screen time with you, man. I'm not sure if we've been on the show together in a while, at least. So,
Alex
good.
is the one person I can go around no matter where he goes,
Big
and
up,
people
Colin.
will quote his famous sayings. And I find that you're infamous, Alex. I would say you're infamous because honestly, anytime you can join the show is a blessing. So please do go show some love. One time for Perchy, Colin with Talking Ball, and Alex THFC exclusive box office himself, where you can get him just his thoughts. How many days are we at now, Alex? 50.
I've lost count. I've literally got bored of it, to be honest with you. 60 days, or maybe it's 60 days of the worst kept secret in football. Tottenham Hotspur still haven't got a manager on the way to 72
we're
days.
smashing that record, by the way.
The
That
manager's
record we
coming,
already-
guys. Stop worrying about the manager. We were never gonna hire a manager before the end of the season anyway.
But it would be
honest.
nice
I know,
to
but
know
I'd love to count. I love to count, Perchy. I love to count.
I
Because
didn't think it was. I didn't want. I'll be honest. I didn't want us to sign a manager because I think if we did, it would have been an absolute panic, and that would have just wound me up even more because it would end up being Brendan Rodgers, and I don't want that to happen. I also don't want. I don't want to manage. I want it to be done properly, and then as long as it's done before, like the start of preseason, I don't really mind. I just want us to get. Do you know what I think? Do you know what? Before even we talk about, I want to see players gone as soon as this manager comes in. We've got so much dead wood.
I heard the new deal
Big
for
up,
Eric
Dan.
Dyer's off the table. Have you guys heard
I
anything
think
about
Guys,
that?
I think it was off for a long time. If I'm honest, I think all the stuff where it was said about him getting a new deal was all regurgitated stuff.
and you know what I say to that?
And you guys never win anything, right? No. And you guys.
Yes,
You love
Perchy,
this
I
video.
have
It does
it.
my head in.
What?
This video is so annoying.
I know, and that's why I have it on
He
replay
is
to
just
remind
twerking.
everyone.
He is just
this-
twerking for that guy.
My backstage. I always say backstage at the Miley Cyrus concert. He got VIP passes. He's giggling like he's just meeting Miley, and she's like, you never win anything." No, fucking idiot. Been here 10 years talking about, and this is going to lead perfectly into the next topic, which is the defense, in particular, Christian Romero. I feel like this shouldn't be such a divisive topic. It shouldn't be discussed so heavily when we have the likes of Ben Davies, Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, and they've been here for how much exponentially longer than Christian Romero. Yet for some reason, the topic has been, let's talk about Christian Romero. Christian Romero's not good. He's too rash.
Christian
He's
Romero's
this and that.
expensive.
So let's kick it off. Colin, you were talking. What were you saying?
Just that, I mean, when you compare, you can't compare somebody like Ben Davis, who costs what, like 12 mil, less than 10, I think, to somebody that costs 45. I mean, that's just like not a very, I mean, it's a hard comparison to make. Also, no one ever claimed that Ben Davis was world class or was going to like change the defense, but we bring in Romero to do exactly that, to be the rock,
Big up Devils United.
You know what I mean? Hey, big up, but to be, you know what I mean, the start of something new and in a good defensive unit, and he just, hasn't shown it. I guess he needs somebody more calm next to him that can, put in a shift that he's not having to cover for. I mean, I see all the arguments from every direction, but I just don't think he's done enough. I don't think that he has earned some of the praise that he gets, and I don't think he gets enough stick for some of the silly things that he does.
Big up Goguma says, "Love you, United Spurs. Love you, Goguma." Big up
Big
one
up,
time for
Goguma.
Goguma.
Absolute
Hitting us with the
legend.
second super chat of the day. Big up yourself. Thank you so much for the dono to the channel, showing some love. So, Colin, if I'm getting this correct, you don't hate him?
I don't hate him, but I just think that he could do better. I think that he's got it in
But
him to
you
do
could
better.
argue everyone could do better you could even argue Kane could have done better several games. He could have 30-some goals right now, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Like, that argument could be made about everybody.
Yeah,
and I
just
think it's hard to pull.
Feet. Don't go to ground as often. Don't get red cards. Don't put our team in jeopardy. You know what I mean? It's just like, it seems like most players go to the ground. It's almost like a laziness thing. It's like they can't make the tackle standing. You know, they can't get back there, so they stretch. They go to ground. They stretch out. I mean, it's just an unnecessary, dangerous risk that I feel like is done out of laziness or poor positioning. He just has a lot to work on, and I don't want that to really, really hurt us sometime. And I mean, it has already, but it really could. It could worse. Could be worse.
My thing is here, and Mia, I agree with you. Mia says both things can be true. We have absolute rubbish and Dyer and company, but Romero needs to do better at times. Let's be honest. Of course, he needs to do better, and that's exactly like what I'm trying to say is everyone can do better. But my argument is this: when you're a defender, obviously, if you having to go to ground, something has led to that point that hasn't been good. So to me, because obviously that's your last ditch effort going to ground, this argument of him going to ground too often. But I would argue when we're backs are against the ropes the entire match and they're constantly applying pressure, and you have Eric Dyer, when you look to your left, you have Pedro Porro who can't defend a sock on his own ass. Like, let's be realistic here. I'm going to go to ground because I'm in desperation mode. That's a desperation mode move. And our team, the entire 45, whether it was the first half or the second half, depending what part of the season you look at, for 45 minutes, balls to the wall, frightening, scared, afraid to concede and make a mistake. And so you go to ground because we are in an emergency mode, quite frankly. And to me, I understand why he would do it. And I don't mind it because you know what? Fuck that dude. Take him out the game. Take them ankles with you home because I like it. When you look at the City match and he did a hard crunching tackle on Erling Haaland, what the fuck did Erling Haaland do after that? Nothing. He was quiet. He was docile. Took him out the match. Same thing when we played Milan in the first leg. What did Rafael Leao do after he got a hard crunch from Christian Romero? He was worried about going to the left side. I'll tell you that much.
Jacob, sorry, man. I'm about to end it. This is ridiculous.
On.
This is not, I'm not having this. This is ridiculous. I want my defenders to defend, not run around like a crazy lunatic all the time. Listen, I'm not.
He doesn't run around like a crazy lunatic all the time. He does defend. Going to ground is a defense move. That's a move. He defends
terribly. Listen, I want my defender to defend. Listen, I'm not, and this is the point. I think this is where people misconstrue my point. I think Romero can be a good defender. But people are already selling him off as a world-class and a decent defender before he's even done it. Wait for him to be good. And I
would say if you look at a league and you take the best defender and you award him with the Defender of the Year award, that he's a pretty damn good defender. Because to win a Serie A Defender of the Year, you don't.
But Jacob, this is the difference here. I don't care what he's done at other clubs. I care what he's done at Tottenham.
But when you say he's not a good defender and you accuse him of not being good, I say, okay, so the entire Italian Serie A is not good.
I said he's not a great defender. I said he's an okay defender.
But you're saying he hasn't proven anything.
I'm
saying he has. He's won a World Cup. He's won a Copa America. He's won
no.
Defender of the Year. He's won individual awards and team awards. But what has he done for Tottenham? What have we done? Perchy, what have we done?
That's the point. But no. I'm on about what has he done at Tottenham for everyone to start
making out. What have we done? What have we done that he could be a part of or make better?
But my point being, Jacob, is he is as at fault as much as the likes of Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Clement Longley. He makes as many mistakes as them, but gets away with it, and no one starts having a go at him because he's playing with bad defenders. Good defenders can defend with bad defenders around him.
And also people like the intensity and they like the hard tackles and they like that because it comes off as tearing. And
take a motherfucker out the game. Take your Haaland. How many did he score when he came to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Jacob,
how many did Haaland score when he came to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? The man who can't be stopped from scoring. The only reason the man doesn't score is because he doesn't play.
Haaland's about to win the triple. I don't think Erling Haaland.
I can't talk about what Erling Haaland's going to win. I'm saying, what did he do when he stepped foot into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? He got a crunching tackle within the first 20 minutes. Everyone got pissed at Romero for getting that yellow card. But what did he do the rest of the match? Not a damn thing.
And the point is you can have one bad game. Let's just say he had a bad game because I don't think he was that bad. But we actually stopped him from playing once.
I agree with this, Phil. Big up,
But
Phil
that means
P.
nothing. But yeah, consistency. But what is Romero isn't consistent. I've seen him have a handful of all right games at this club, and the rest of the time I think he's been rash. Listen, everyone lauds him up for making crazy tackles. Why?
I don't laud him up for making crazy tackles. I laud him up
sent
for
off in that game, by the way. He got himself sent off.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta throw haymakers when you're backs up against
Jacob,
the wall.
Hear me out, Jacob.
I think you're talking about the other Man City match where we lost 4-2. I'm talking about
No. He got sent off in the 1-0. He got sent off in the 1-0.
1-0 at home.
1-0.
Hell yeah, and he got my BDE for that. I remember because that crunching tackle on Erling Haaland taking his ass out the game.
Okay. Jacob, you're walking straight into a purchase trap.
Oh no, you played the trap. No.
Okay, great. He went crazy. Got that yellow card. What is he do? What a stupid challenge. The second one, I could argue.
No, I loved it.
Probably wasn't. It was a soft one. But he gets himself sent off. Yay, we won the game. What happened the week after when he was suspended? What happened the week after when we got suspended? When he was suspended, sorry. We got battered at Leicester or getting relegated this season.
But he's so bad. Clearly, we could have done better, right? Whenever he's not in the squad.
I've not said he's bad. This is the hyperbolic part of it. I've not said he's bad. I just don't think he's as great as everyone makes out to be. Everyone makes him out to be as good as the likes of, I don't know, Van Dijk. I've heard him.
Van Dijk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's not. Do you know what it is? He's an okay defender that needs to be controlled by somebody. He's not a leader.
Right. And what did we do as a club? We said, here you go. When we sign him, we get you Nuno, we get you Eric Dyer.
That doesn't make him a good defender. That makes him an okay defender that is a lunatic.
Right. But I'm saying if you put Romero in under Pep or Klopp, who has some kind of system, there's some kind of fucking framework for him to operate under.
Here's a question. And you were there on Sunday, Jacob. All the teams above us, Romero doesn't get into any of their teams. Not one team. That says everything. Brighton wouldn't have a Romero because they've got a solid defence. They've got defenders that defend properly. Liverpool would never have him in. They've got Van Dijk and Konate who are better. Man United have Varane and Martinez. Newcastle have Fabian Schär and Sven Botman. Doesn't get into that team.
I argue about the Newcastle, but that's just me.
I want to talk about Konate for a second. Let's talk about Konate.
They want him.
Let's talk about Konate.
Yeah.
How did he do versus us again? Let's talk about it.
It's not. I don't care. Liverpool.
But you don't care. But you're saying he's better than Romero. But what did you said? Konate. He can't get ahead of Konate. So I'm going to stop there.
Liverpool conceded 62 goals this season. Of course they haven't. We're talking about Spurs here.
Again, you brought up Konate though. You said
no. I'm saying Liverpool fans, trust me, would never have Romero in their team. They've told me. I have friends that are Liverpool fans. They think Romero is average.
There's a group chat that I'm in where I asked this question after Sava and Henry were debating. Well, I guess Sava was debating my comments on Henry's show, but
yep.
I put this in a group chat and I said, "Hey, what is it? This is a group chat with United, Liverpool, Arsenal fans. It's got all type Newcastle fans. Would shout out if you've come over to watch a show from that group chat. Big up yourself right now." But I asked them. I said, "What are y'all's thoughts on Romero? I'm trying to see something." Liverpool fans said, "I like him. He's fine." It was all he's fine or he's too rash. Which
I've got quite a few, and none of them. Everyone thinks he's basically a loose cannon.
Guarantee if you let him play a season under a Klopp or a Pep, playing next to a competent defender, and then on his other side is another competent player, and in front of him is another competent player. He's surrounded by fucking Oliver Skip, Pedro Porro, Emerson Royale, Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez. What do you want the guy to do? Be Jesus?
But Jacob, this is the difference. This is the difference between a good player and a world-class player. Hear me out. Romero stinks around crap players. Maybe I'm a bit too strong, but let's just hear me out. Harry Kane with these same shit players scores 28 league goals in the season. That's the difference between elite and okay. If Romero had Van Dijk next to him, he wouldn't make the mistakes because he's next to a world-class centre-half. Do you see what I'm trying to get at with this? I'm not saying Romero is terrible. I think, do you know what? I genuinely think we've got a player there. But we have to go and buy somebody that can hold his hand for a bit and say, you need to calm down because you're gonna cost this team points next season. And listen, this is not talking about the likes of Dyer, Davis, because I think they're crap. I think they're terrible. But that's the difference why I don't put them in the same bracket, because I actually think there is something with Romero. However, I'm not going to sit there and laud him because he's playing with crap defenders. I judge what I see, and I see a very young defender that is being coached terribly, and I mean that. He's been coached. And this is one of the biggest criticisms that I had of Antonio Conte. Everyone loved him. How has he not been able to control him and gone, do you know what? I'm going to coach you to defend better. We don't. Romero makes so many mistakes, but no one seems to want to say it. Everyone's scared to say it. We can say he's been really poor this season. I thought he had an okay last season. I thought he was all right. I just think with Romero now is people are. I think for me, hear me out. With Romero, I genuinely think this. He gets away with it because we've got Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, Longley, and Tanganga.
What does he get away with? This argument, this is the other argument I wanted to poke holes in. This whole Romero gets away with it. What has he gotten away with?
You're telling me you love what he does. What, get sent
off? That's not him getting away with it. That's just my opinion on what I've seen from him.
No. But I'm talking about the consensus of the fan base. The consensus of the fan base is Romero's an amazing defender. Based on what?
This is my question. What have any of our fucking center backs done? Even Yan and Toby. What did they do?
But you don't rate Eric Dyer. You don't rate Ben Davies. You don't rate Longley. You don't rate Tanganga.
Did you just ask what Toby and Yan did?
What did they accomplish? I asked what did they accomplish?
Just having a season where we went undefeated at home while they were both our center backs.
So let me ask you this then. Do you say, let's take it when Toby was gone and Yan was by himself. Granted, he was a little bit older, but still, you could argue he was in our team for another season after Yan. Yep. What did he look like then? Was he this? Yeah, I thought this. I thought. Pick up Goguma for the super sticker right now. Pick up Goguma.
Yan Vertonghen that was in his like mid-30s at this point, right? Early 30s, 33, 34, whatever it was. So we're talking about an aged player that basically was seeing out the sort of latter of his top tier like sort of career. No. So I think that's an unfair sort of judgment. But when we're talking about, look at what we had there, by the way. Toby Alderweireld and Yan Vertonghen, proper defenders. I'll tell you what, Romero doesn't make the mistakes with them two in the back three, by the way. Doesn't make any of the mistakes here.
But see, then that goes into my second point about this whole Romero thing. How long has he been here? And people are jumping on his back over what they have or haven't seen from the guy. And I would
it's
argue,
not what they haven't, it's what they have seen. What we've seen is a player that we were believing that we were going to get in a really top level centre off.
But see, that's the thing. Again, you have a beautiful car and you're building it with parts that aren't even made for the damn car. And so when you're like, well, why isn't this beautiful car working right? It's like, well, what have you supplied it with? What have you done to help this thing succeed? To help this car go?
Whose fault was that though? That's got to be on the manager, right?
That's the club's first and foremost. It's the club's fault. It's the club's fault that the manager has to fucking choose between Dyer, Sanchez, Longley, and Davies.
Yeah, okay, I get all that part, but the player surely has to be. We have to blame him for the mistakes that he makes, right? Because otherwise, then what we're doing is we're picking and choosing who we can judge and who we don't judge. Because hear me out,
I'm not saying you can't judge Romero about it.
I think we can judge Romero massively.
I didn't, but I'm saying that I never said that you couldn't judge him for his mistakes. I'm not saying. But I'm saying when we talk all this about him being so bad and awful, I thought he was pretty damn good against Manchester United. Thought he was pretty damn good against Crystal Palace. If we're talking most recent games,
but we can pick individual games. Quality survives throughout the season. He was there when we were getting beat. We've been beaten all across the country at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Romero's had more bad games than he's had good games. I think that's a fair judgment. But Scott, his defending in patches this season has been horrendous. And my point being is, if the mistakes that he made was Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Clement Longley, Jaffa Tanganga, we would all be going ballistic. But because it's Romero, we have to go, oh, he's playing with bad defenders. No, good defenders play good on their own.
Okay, this is a wind-up. Maguire is better than Romero. Let's have it right. Let's have it right.
Totally different types of defenders. Completely.
Totally different.
Yeah, one's built like a fridge and one's built like a Jaguar.
I'm
curious to hear Alex's thoughts on Romero. I don't know where Alex lands with Romero. I know you're sipping on your drink. You're sitting cool. I feel like you are the slingshot being pulled back slowly, and I'm ready to see where are we going to land on this Romero discussion with you, Alex. Big up Goguma, thank you.
For me, it's quite simple. If you can't find a partner for him, get rid. As far as I'm concerned, he's been rubbish. Yeah, he has been rubbish this season. And I was going. I went on when I saw him because I had to apologise to Mari and somebody else because they said that he was really, really good. I said, "What are you talking about? He's going to take time to." And the first time I saw him, he absolutely bantered the Chelsea striker out of the building. Bantered loads of people out of the building. This was with Nuno in charge, by the way, and Conte, the rest of the season. But he's very rash, and that's it. But as I said before, he needs a partner next to him. He needs a John Terry or Rio Ferdinand next to him. And then he won't go nowhere. He won't be going nowhere. Yeah, because as soon as he puts one foot wrong, that captain of the ship, not Højbjerg, captain of the ship, the captain, the person, the leader beside him will tell him, if you do one thing wrong again, I'm telling the manager not to play you, and that's it. You know what I mean? So you keep it simple, or I'm telling the manager you're not playing, and that's it. You need to keep it hard with him, and keep it hard with him, and say to him, you need to behave yourself, yeah, and that's it, yeah, because you have to be very, very hard with him and tell him that's what Conte was like with him, you know. You got to be tough love. That's what you have to be with him.
Agreed.
Yeah, because the problem is when he's got Eric Dyer next to him, he's just won the World Cup. He's sitting there thinking, really, you know what I mean? But as I said before, again, it's about partnerships. If you can't get a partner for him that works well with him, get rid. I don't care anymore. I'm ruthless now.
Agreed.
Ruthless now because it's got to that point now. Because as I said before, if we don't sort out the makeup of this team without Harry Kane, because let's be honest here, right? If Harry Kane wants to stay here, well, that's it. His loss because we ain't winning no trophies. So there's no moaning anymore. You know what I mean? So if he goes off to pastures new, which is expected, let's be honest here, right? We are in trouble with this team if it doesn't change and if we don't get partnerships in this team. And the first one is the centre-backs. Yeah?
Agreed.
So as I said, Virgil van Dijk needs to go. His time was up a long time ago. Sanchez needs to go. Reject from Barcelona, Langley, sorry. Okay doesn't do good for me. You know what I mean? Okay doesn't get me married. Doesn't get me get me marriage, bruv. It just gets me a one-way ticket out the door. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, and just lonely, and that's it. You know, lonely. You know, that's the song from that rapper. You know that song from rapper. I can't remember his name now. Akon. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, be singing that. Yeah, exactly. Singing that song, and that's it.
Mr. Lonely. That's a great song.
You know, on the boat and nowhere else, and that's it. So that's what I'm saying, man. You know, we need to sort out the partnerships, and he needs a partner next to him to make sure he doesn't do anything, and that's it. And then you get a top defender. And that's
I agree. That's exactly, Alex. You're absolutely
and that defender, it needs to be a sitter.
We need to get
like a defender that sits back.
Do you know what? And I said on you're Colin. You're absolutely bang on. By the way, we need a Ledley King type next to him. Exactly. We need a Ledley King type defender next to him to go. Now, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Stand here next to me. You're meant to be covering him. I'll cover him.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. When all season he's looking over and Eric Dyer's, stand here, do this, do that. I'd be like, shut your ass up. Look at you.
No, but it don't
Look at the
work like that,
state of
mate.
you. Shut
However
your ass
much- however
up, Eric
much you
Dyer.
dislike
Ugly
Eric
ass
Dyer-
forehead looking motherfucker. Shoe
So-
print ass face motherfucker.
But
Sorry.
Jacob, but that's not how it works, though, mate. Like, I get. Where
I'm
you're
sorry,
trying to
but if I
come
look to my left and someone I have zero fucking respect for
so
as
you
a
think
professional,
that-
as
so-
a talent, as a defender, as a human, if I look over and I see that and he's fucking pointing left and right telling me to do something, I'm doing the opposite
Wow,
because
is he-
fuck him.
I mean, did Eric Dyer do something to you? But this is my
And you
point.
guys never win anything, right? No.
He didn't do something to me. He's done something to Tottenham for 10 years. That's what
I didn't
I'm
notice
pissed off
Portnoy.
about.
I just noticed Portnoy has a Spurs kit on in that video. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it
first
was
go
over
around.
this. It was over the summer, right when they released the home kits.
Yeah, but this is the point I'm trying to make at. When you say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that because I've got Eric Dyer next to me," so what? So what he does is he self-capitulates and goes flying into a challenge and gets yellow carded. Like, but Hotspur, it doesn't work like that. This is the point. He doesn't defend on his own. He has defenders next to him. Yes, they're not great. So my point has always been this: elevate yourself to show that you're a better defender than the crap ones around you. My point being is, I made this point. I'm not comparing them. I say this all the time. If you put Paolo Maldini in his prime in that defense, he wouldn't make the mistakes Romero makes because he's a world-class centre half. Not comparing. I'm just trying to make a point in the sense of you put a Ledley King in that defense. He doesn't make the mistakes Romero makes because he's a top defender. You can list off defenders, my point. Put Van Dijk in that back three. Doesn't make the same mistakes because he's a world-class defender.
I love this from
Sol
Scott. And
Campbell.
normally Scott
Sol
is
Campbell. Steve, we'll keep
no,
Sol Campbell because he's called Judas. But Sol Campbell. No, I'm
You
not
can't
going to
say
say
it.
his name. I'm
you
saying
can
his
talk
name.
about.
You
You can
can
say
say
his
his
name.
name.
This is a
Nah,
safe
but-
place, Alex. This is a safe place.
But Scott, but what Scott's saying here, I've not said he's a terrible defender. Not said that once. I think people are misquoting me. But however, what I have said is when he makes mistakes, I'll be critical. And this season, he's made a lot of mistakes. He's been a part of the defense that has conceded 62 goals. He's conceded. He's part of the team that's conceded 62 goals. I'm not blaming him directly. He's not. Romero is not the biggest problem at the club. We've got a lot more problems than him. However, that doesn't mean he gets a free pass.
I agree
But-
with Perchy. I do agree with Perchy. That's what I'm saying, right? Because his attitude stinks as well. To be honest with you as well.
Can I just
So-
can I just answer this from Scott quickly? What Scott just said. I don't care what he did at the World Cup. I don't care what he did at Atalanta. I care what he does at Tottenham.
Yeah,
I
I
yeah.
World
understand that sentiment, Pergy. I do. I use that bang on all the time.
Yep.
But when you look at a player and you say
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have this trait or he can't do this as a footballer, I look at yes he can if he has something that he believes in as an individual. Sorry,
If he
Alex,
doesn't
you-
believe in Tottenham, then I don't. If that's what you're saying,
you're not apologies. But yeah, I do agree. I agree with what Perch. Sorry to interrupt you, Perch, because I know
Yeah,
you
go,
need to
go,
go
go.
there. But my point is, I think he's making some good points there. I think he's making some good points. So that's why I'm saying, if he's got the wrong attitude, and he's not, you can't get a partner next to him, sell him, get rid. You know what I mean? Because like I don't care whether we get rid of loads of players. The fact is, the team doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
agreed.
chemistry of the team does not work. There was a reason why I couldn't be bothered to watch on Saturday. Oh, by the way, yeah, where was I, by the way? Where's Mr. Box Office, by the way? Where is he?
Where is he?
Yeah, he was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium actually protesting. What was he doing? Because he shows out,
My
and that's
goat.
it, bruv. Not that it's anybody else's business, by the way. Not that it's anybody's business, by the way, because that's personal and that's it. Because Mr. Box Office always turns up every single time, and that's it. But anyway, moving back to the point. My point is that, you know, yeah, if he's got the wrong attitude, yeah, get rid. Because I'm sorry, yeah, this team needs to rebuild again, yeah, because the wrong characters are in the team, and that's it. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? And Romero, he's got a chip off his own shoulder
Alex,
because
but
Dom Prodigy, who wasn't cooking, by the way, he's out the door, by the way. Should have been out the door a long time ago. Which again, Mr. Box Office said again, was talking the truth again, and I'm still waiting for those receipts again.
Are we talking
Yeah,
about
that,
are we
by the
talking
way.
about Perisic?
Yeah.
Perisic? Sorry, that's how
You
I
know,
call him.
and that's it. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry.
Para crappy.
He needs to go.
Masterclass right here from Perisic.
If he's not good enough, if he doesn't want to have the right attitude at Tottenham Hotspur, and that's it. Yeah. Because look at the teams that are top of the table right now.
Yeah.
Look at their players. Look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. We're supposedly in a rearview mirror. They've got Gabriel, who's bang average the last couple of seasons, and then they've got Saliba, who they were messing about for the last couple of seasons. Look how brilliant he is. That's a decent defender. You know what I mean? That's a partnership I want. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, to get Sven Botman,
and
if we would have gotten Sven Botman ahead of
Mr.
Newcastle.
Talking the truth again.
Jacob, no, just to sort of didn't mean to cut you off, but you say Sven Botman looks great now. I was on streams at the start of the season and people were saying, "Oh, we can do better."
You should have seen me. No, you should have heard. I've been banging on for him for 2 years.
No, I'm not saying you, by the way. I'm not saying you, but I've seen people going, "Oh, we can get better than Sven Botman. We can get Bastoni."
Those are probably the same people who are saying Conference League Cup is below us when we ain't seen a trophy in fucking 20-some years. Well, actually, it's been what, 15 years? 16 years?
16 years.
When was 2008? I was a junior in high school. Yeah. That's how long ago it fucking was since we won. So
we're nowhere near that, though. We're nowhere near trophies anymore. We're nowhere near it.
There was something I have with that
Perchy. The only problem I say with that Perchy at the moment is that I just worry about Daniel Levy being trigger happy, by the way, bro, because I'm being honest, yeah, right? I do get nervous when people say that he's perfect. This Arnold Slot is perfect for us, yeah. Because
who's Slot?
Yeah, because the thing is, it all looks good right now. Because we want him now. Yeah, that's cool. When it's squeaky bum time. Yeah. So sorry for anybody that is offended by me saying the B word, but the point I'm making is
bro. This channel gets limited monetization as it is because of me. So don't worry about.
Hopefully no one got offended anyway. But my point is that when it comes to the crux of things, when it's getting hard, yeah, you know what Daniel Levy's like. You know what I mean? 1 or 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. He's 4 losses. Oh, we need to get rid. You know what I mean? And I just hope, hope he sticks to his gums. Yeah. If this is the perfect guy, this is why I don't listen to Perchy when he says, "Oh, well, I waited to wait to the end of the season and then we'll get the manager in." We'll see then. We'll see. But
Alex, because it's more because for me, there was nothing to salvage this season. This season was over for me. The season was done.
I totally agree with you.
And getting a manager in now would have just been a panic. But
I'm not getting the manager in now. I said make sure the manager.
I get what you were trying to say, but I think we were waiting until a manager was available that we wanted to. But I wanted to just jump on a point that you made there about Daniel Levy. I think, and watching the game on the weekend on Saturday, I don't know. You just showed how little I care anymore. I forget when we played, but I saw for one of the first times I've seen in a very long time, I saw a Daniel Levy really, really panicked. I don't know if anyone else saw it on TV. I saw a man terrified. I think he knows. And listen, I'm with you, Alex, by the way. I'll see it when I believe it. I'm in that boat. I'll believe it when I see it. But I've seen, and it was something me and Sava actually spoke about. We sat and spoke about this quite in depth. We actually seen a man that probably now knows how far down we've dropped. And I think for the first time he's clocked on that this could take a long time to. This is a man that I think has rinsed Harry Kane so much that Harry Kane has papered over us and is, because realistically, let's be frank and honest. What does Daniel Levy love the most?
Money. Oh yeah, he's that meme of the duck diving into the gold.
But right now, we're not getting the money that he wants because we're nowhere near the Champions League and we're nowhere near qualifying.
He's gonna have to
lose. We're not. And they think about this next season. This was another point someone made to me. And I can't remember who it was. So big up to whoever you are. I can't remember who it was. Next season is going to be even worse. Look how many teams are going to be challenging for 5 places because there's 5 Champions League places next season. It's 5 because of the new format next season to qualify. Look how many teams will be in that mixer that are already, by the way, way ahead of us. They're way ahead of our schedule. If we want to use, I hate that word, but they're way ahead of us. Man City, of course. Arsenal, Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. That's
Chelsea?
it. Yeah.
Any team can have a bad season. So Chelsea's having a terrible season, and any of those teams you listed could also have a terrible season. I mean, it's not set in stone, man. Yo.
History tells me when Chelsea have a bad season,
they go win the league.
What do they? They go and win the league the next season. I'm not saying they're going to go and win the league, but my point is history tells me when Chelsea have a dip and then they go and play once a week, which they will do next season, they have spent a lot of money. They've got a young talent. They'll probably have Pochettino in there, and then they'll probably do okay. I think that.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is any of the teams that you mentioned could have a bad season. It never goes.
Of course.
I mean, if we could all predict it right now, we'd all be rich. We'd all have bets in. We'd all, you know what I mean, have the top 5 picked. We'd all know. Oh, yeah. But it just doesn't happen like that. So I guess I'm just saying that it seems like we're speaking in absolutes here when it's nothing is, and it's, you know.
No, Colin, you're absolutely right. It's all hypotheticals, of course. I totally get that. Yeah. The bit that I was thinking, though, you got to bear in mind is we could or could not be without Harry Kane, and I feel like we're going back to the sort of beginning at the start of it.
Keep him.
We're going to be so in this sort of lurch and not really knowing what's going to happen. If we don't have Harry Kane next season, we don't know. We need to learn how to play as a team more now than ever, because realistically, what do? We get a ball to Harry Kane and he goes and do some magic,
it's
and
like
then we
Bale.
go.
It's like Bale this season.
Similar, yeah, very
MVP is
magic, and we won games of football.
Yeah.
But we're now at a stage. If we took, and this is what I said about if you take Harry Kane out of it, I'm not saying that we won't be able to replace those goals. We won't be able to replace the quantity of goals. We might get some of it. We may get percentages of it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, about 40% is my estimate.
Yeah, but
it's a fair estimate.
It is. But what have we done that's so wrong at the moment is conceded so many goals. If we conceded the same sort of level of goals we did this season, next season, we'll be back at this same position. I don't think we will. I think we will, hopefully, touch wood, that we get it right. Because I think this is last chance saloon. I know we hear that statement all the time. I think Daniel Levy is genuinely in his last chance, because when I say this is the last chance, he hasn't got Champions League football now to fall back on. We can't go, well, we've got the Champions League anymore. We won't be in Europe next season. We're not going to be, because Villa will get the 7th place. I put my house on it. They'll do that. Saying that, watch us go and beat Leeds, and then they go and lose. That'll be typical Spurs, or Brentford win, whatever. But I think we're at that stage now where we have to be. I think Daniel Levy has got he's like a cat. I think he's lost his 15th life. Normally it's 9 lives, but I'm trying to I genuinely think this man is in a perilous position. And listen, I'm as much as everybody else. I want that man to be gone out of my football club, because he has wrecked it and we are rotten to the core. And do you know what? This is what happens when you rely on one player, by the way. This is the culmination of relying and sucking Harry Kane dry to the absolute max. That's where we've gone so wrong. Because other big teams sell their best players. Other teams sell their best player and reinvest properly. Liverpool's the prime example. They did it with Coutinho, and they'll never look back. I'm just worried.
What other player have they sold since Coutinho? So what other type players have they sold since Coutinho? I guess you could say Mane, but he wasn't really a top player.
Sadio Mane, but that was slightly different. That was a Mane that's in his 30s now. But they sold Coutinho, who was their best player by a country mile, in his pomp for 150 million quid, didn't they? And then what they did is they invested it into Van Dijk and Alisson, and the rest is history.
If Kane is sold, we need to spend that money on a defender. I know that we would need goals to replace the goals he's put in, but listen, we've got players, as Jacob was alluding to, we've got players that can score goals. We don't have competent defenders. So I do think if Kane goes, which I don't want us to sell, I think that the entirety of the money that we make from the sale needs to go to.
I totally agree with you, by the way. I do agree with what you say. I think this needs to be a big investment in the summer. I think we have to take a big knock on a lot of players. And listen, I said this earlier on in the season. I said this earlier on. I actually said this in January. I said, I don't care anymore. And I think, Alex, you're in a very similar boat to me. If we have to rip up 15 contracts in the summer, so be it. If we have to go and pay 50, 60 million quid to get rid of players because of their contracts, so be it. I want to start again. I hate the term rebuild. We don't need a rebuild, by the way. We need to start. We need to build the house from brick by brick at the beginning. And if that's without Harry Kane, if that's without Heung-min Son, I don't actually care. And I'll be honest, I actually don't care anymore. I love Harry Kane. I've got pictures of Harry Kane all across in my flat. I'm now at the point where I want to start. I would love us to start again. Completely start again and go, do you know what? The new manager's coming in. We're going to buy he wants a pressing striker. We're going to buy a pressing striker. He wants really quick wingers. Fine. We're going to go and buy them. Kulusevski, you're gone. We're not going to sign you. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying. And we start building the ship for this new manager and start again. Because, yeah.
And make sure that every single player make sure that the spine of the team that you pick out of the players that you want in the spine of the team connect with the players that you're bringing in. Yeah. So if you're going to bring in this stat system that Daniel Levy wants to bring in, by the way, us getting this stat system, you need to be ahead of the curve, not catching up ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? So there's no point of doing this stat system. Okay, don't base it on just stats, because we all know what stats is all about. Yeah, it's all good to have good stats, yeah, but you need to have the personality as well. You know what I mean? Make sure the right personality, because there's no point of getting a good stat person and getting Ndombele, who has the worst personality in the world, but the team. I
got called names for saying this about Ndombele. Don't try that one.
Exactly. So there's no point. So that's what I'm saying. So, like I said before, it needs good relationships. Yeah. I mean, everybody's been in a good relationship, haven't you? You know what I mean? There's people that you don't get on with. There's people that you do get on with. You know what I mean? There's no point in having one, because remember that team when remember that team under Villas-Boas, where some of the players just didn't get on with each other. They're all arguing with each other. You know, we had Adebayor, who was just causing fights and everything else. You know, remember Dembele, who was just, you know, he was doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah. Get rid of Adebayor. Look how he flourished. You know what I mean? You know, it's simple as that. You need.
So what players do you think that don't get on? And what players do you think don't get on in the current club? I'm just curious, like in the squad now.
I think Sanchez and Emerson do not get on. Sanchez and Emerson don't get on.
Mate, I think a lot of them don't get on. They look miserable as sin. Good prime example. Look back at if you have a chance, go back and watch the walkout of the Newcastle game where we got absolutely battered in 20 minutes. Go back and look at the tunnel. Look at the comparison of team. Look at the teams in the tunnel. You got the Newcastle players going, "Come on, boys, let's do this." Spurs players head down, walking out the tunnel. I genuinely think that I don't think many of them like each other anymore. We used to, under Pochettino, it was a team that felt like a family. They were all united as a front. We've got players that I don't think like each other at the moment much. You've got a captain.
Got a lot of players I don't like.
You've got a captain that basically has given up, by the way. Given up.
Yeah. Oh, my
Where's
back hurt.
Longban?
Oh, my back
given
hurt.
Up.
Gotta quit now because my back hurts. Oh my God. The Newcastle game for me, we were already a dead horse, but that was literally lighting the dead horse on fire. Not even beating the dead horse. We sent him up in flames. Our captain skipped. Coming out for the second half. And to me, that's just atrocious. It speaks to the mindset of players whose fucking lockers are growing mold, i.e. Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Davinson Sanchez is getting moldy. That's the thing is, that's another reason I'm going to tie it back to Romero, because I don't give him a lot of shit. How fresh are his boots in that locker? How long his ass been sitting in that fucking locker? How much sweat of his has generated in that locker? Well, I guess you could argue just as much as Dyer.
It's just weird to lump in. Davis is the majority of the time like a reserve player or like a backup in positions.
Yeah,
so I think it's weird. I think it's weird to throw him in. Yeah, we don't need him. Like we're not the team right now that's going to be so deep that we've got great players as squad players. And so I think a player, I'll protect Ben Davis all day. I don't really know why. I love the dude. Really like his attitude and the work he puts in. And so I don't feel like I don't feel like it's fair to lump him in with Eric Dyer.
He will always be lumped in with Eric Dyer because he's fucking been here for 10 years. What player constitutes being at a club for 10 years? I'm sorry, you're supposed to be a stud. Thank you. Harry Kane, that's one I'd take for 10 years. I'd take Young-Min Son for 10 years.
What other players that are happy to sit on the bench a majority of the time if that's what's called for? He's not going to make a fuss. He's not going to be, a problem.
I don't want a fucking yes man just sitting on the bench because he's okay.
But I think what Colin's trying to be is trying to be realistic, though, Jacob.
But this is a guy who has influence in that locker room. The morale we're talking about that is complete shit. But if you're here for a long time, you go to a company and you look at your coworkers and someone's like, yeah, I've been here 10 years, bro. Don't worry. I got your back when the manager's too mean to you. You know what I'm saying? You got these guys who, when you come into a club, you look at who are the vets, who are the big dogs. It's like prison. When you go into prison, you eye up the biggest, baddest motherfucker. Say, okay, I'm taking his ass out first. You know what I'm saying? So to me, when you come into Tottenham Hotspur and who's the big dog on campus? Fucking Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Harry Kane. Okay, yes, bow down. He's the king, kiss the ring. But when we look at the fucking leaders in the leaders,
Jacob,
that's why we're shit.
Jacob, I get the sentiment, but I think what Colin's trying to make, I'm talking for Colin, but I'm talking for you in the sense of what I think's happening here. What you're trying to say is, if we go and rip up Ben Davies' contract, hypothetically, and we rip up Sanchez's, and we rip up Dyer's, and Tanganga's.
Not Tanganga.
Really?
No, I'm not.
You keep Tanganga over.
I'm not saying keep him. I'm saying loan him to a maybe a recently promoted side. No, I'm not. So okay, he pocketed Sterling. He pocketed who was the guy that was on who's on the left for Liverpool that year? I'm saying he's shown the ability to pocket big players.
But Jacob, I'm gonna use your. He's shown you he can pocket him. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't get it in that sense.
That means when you take his. Look at what City did last Nuno year. All right, when Javid Tanganga started versus City, he started up until Wilfred Zaha took his lunch money and his girl all in one fatal swoop.
Okay, I get your point.
And since then, we haven't seen him.
But you love Antonio Conte, and he couldn't even get in a game over Eric Dyer. Exactly. That man there, Eric Dyer was a better defender than Japhet Tanganga, by the way. Just saying.
Tanganga, who's not healthy, by the way. He was injured.
He's on the bench, so he was getting game time. He was on the bench. If he's not, I'm not having that. He wasn't on the bench
the entire time. He got injured in one of his substitute appearances he made. Or there was a start, if I'm not mistaken, this season where he started and then he got subbed out.
I think I was the biggest one for I actually really wanted Tanganga to be good. I actually think he would be an all right defender in the Premier League.
My thing is, you also like you. I think you were making a point with ripping up all these players' contracts and my Tanganga lack of desire to rip up his contract. I'm not saying he's good enough or near at the level, but I'm saying I think I haven't written the book on Japhet Tanganga yet. But there are players I feel like the book is complete. We just fucking haven't collected dust.
By the way,
what's that?
I read somewhere from a certain individual that I'm not going to bring up, but I think Tanganga's name is going to be one of the players that does go in this coal of players. By the way, you heard it, breaking news, but I don't quote me. I'm not going to be.
I'm quoting you, Percy. I'm quoting you on that.
Hold it to me. When it happens, you can come to me and say it's happened because of me.
He was right. Percy said it.
I'm saying I won't be upset when that news breaks. I won't be like, oh, we should have kept him. We're losing a gem. But I'm saying he's not near the top. He's on the list of players that should go and that are not good enough. But he's not near Dyer, Davies. These guys have been 10 years.
But the point is Dyer and Davies get played every single week. Is my point. That's the point I'm trying to make it.
And the reason why I think that is because lack of options and the morale of the locker room.
He's not getting picked, is my point.
Right. But is Tanganga a formidable force in that locker room?
No.
He's not golfing buddies with Harry Kane. Who is golfing buddies with Harry Kane, by the way? Matt
I don't
Doherty
care
got
about that stuff.
Matt
I'm too old
Doherty
for
got
that
his
crap.
contract ripped up, and he was in the. So I'm saying like, it doesn't. Tanganga is not in the same conversation as Dyer and Davies because yes, they have gotten the starts ahead of him, but they didn't. They not necessarily when I think it was the same thing with lack of options with Jose, but Jose. Tanganga played for Jose. Tanganga played for Nuno. Tanganga didn't play for Conte though.
That's what I'm saying. No, but my point being is it's just in a weird way. What we're having is quite I'm going to say an irrelevant conversation because the new manager might come in and go, "Do you know what? I want him in at right back." I don't think he will because I think we've got better options there. Weirdly, but irrelevant in that sense of it, but in that sense of it, because I don't actually know what position he's best at. I don't think he's defensively strong enough to play centre half, and I don't think he's got the legs to play at right back. But I just feel at the moment.
Yes, he did get rinsed by Zaha. I said Zaha took his lunch money and his girl, so I am acknowledging that he's not.
But this is.
I'm not saying I'm not trying to sit here to fucking defend Tanganga.
No,
I was just saying when we're ripping
I think
up
what we're just trying to
contracts.
make. We're just trying to make. I said actually, it wouldn't shock me the likes of Skip and Tanganga to keep their contracts because they are trained through the academy. They've come through the academy and they need them for registration purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go and get those into your team, which is an absolute damning indictment of our football team. Is that's how the likes of Alfie Whiteman got a contract. Literally, the only reason he got a contract is because he's come through the academy. I mean, that's for registration purposes. That's a terrible reasoning at this football club that we've got. But I wanted to just touch on it because I was just sitting. How many players would you rip up? I wanted to ask everyone this and stuff. Genuinely, if you were in charge, but how many players would you rip up? And, well, actually, probably better. How many players would you keep with the players that are out on loan and all that lot? How many would you keep?
It's interesting does anyone want to answer that? Because
last
week I did a milk list, and I feel like my milk list is pretty.
So here's the thing. We've seen that you can't bring in 100 new players. You can't bring in 10 new players and then have the team instantly gel and be good.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that we need to be careful with how many. I think we need to be careful with how many players. Okay, well, if you're riding next season off completely, then that's a different story.
I actually wrote the next 2 seasons off personally.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I was just going to throw out that if you want any type of cohesion and we want to achieve anything, or at least not get embarrassed to worse than it has been, we just have to be careful with how many people that we, how big this culling of players is. I think that you've got to be intelligent about it. I know we clearly haven't been intelligent about it yet in the other direction. We haven't let anybody go, but I think you start letting everybody go. You think you're going to bring in 10, 11 new players. It's just going to be a shit show.
I've got 6 or 7 players I'd keep out of everyone, including the players out on loan.
Yeah, I would say somewhere in around there is probably about right.
I'd keep Porro, Adoji, Romero, Bentancur, Bissouma, KANE, Son, 7. If I'm honest, I think it would be 7.
I'm thinking about Romero, Porro, because he hasn't had that much time. Bissouma, Skip by default, Sarr.
Oh yeah, I think it's fair.
KANE, I think as well, because obviously he's our star player at the moment, and I don't think he'll go. Son by default again. Richarlison's going to have to stay because we're not going to be able to get.
I think you're talking more realistic. If it was me, a contract, I'd have.
I'll rip him up all day long. He's rubbish.
Crap.
I think unfortunately, if KANE goes, he's our main striker.
Yeah, and this is exactly what terrifies me, by the way.
Yeah,
because we say about goals.
I honestly think Danjuma is a better player than Richarlison, which is hilarious.
I've got a question mark on Ndoji at the moment. I've got a very.
I think he'll be all right. I think. Do you know what? I think
big question mark on Ndoji at the moment, because the reason why I put Ndoji in that question mark at the moment, well, I think everyone's going over the top about him, by the way. Yeah, because the first thing is He came in.
Well, you know, Alex, even if he won fucking left winger of the year award, it wouldn't matter because if he comes into Tottenham and in 2 years he's not fucking playing blindler, he's not a good player because fucking Serie A doesn't mean shit.
The point I'm making is though, Jacob. The point I'm making is
sorry, I was waiting.
He signed, yeah, because of Antonio Conte and Perisic. They're not here anymore. That's the point I'm making.
I think we've got a player there, mate. I'll be honest. I
understand where you're coming from.
What has he done in a Spurs shirt, Perchy?
He wanted to come.
But we can't judge that yet.
I know. I'm teasing.
We did buy him because he wanted to fit what Antonio Conte wanted. Do you see what I'm saying? So they're not there anymore. I don't know how you sell it to him. You know what I mean? Because
I get that, Alex. You're spot on. The only thing I would say about it, we could really. Do you know what? If we do it right, and it's all if buts, maybes. I love all this because we don't actually have a clue. Really, we're just four blokes talking about football that's not been happened yet. But what could work under this new manager is we could go down the Pochettino route with the new manager. What did Pochettino do brilliantly? What he had two fullbacks that bombed it. Danny Rose, Carl Walker became wingers. You've got that in Porro and Udogie. And what did he have? He had two stalwarts in centre half, and then he had a DM in Wanyama that basically Wanyama or Dembele became a third centre half. If we can get that number 6, that DM that is top defensive midfielder, that is strong, defensively aware, you've got the spine, the start of a really good defense. You've got Romero. I think he's all right. I think we could, if we need someone better next to him, of course. With the defenders we've got now, it's not going to work. If you go and get in a left-sided centre half that is of a top ilk in that, and then a DM, a number 6 that just slots into that little anchor role. And what you've got there is you've got a back 3 when we're going forward, and then you've got the 2 wing backs become basically the 2 fullbacks become wingers. Then you've got that attacking 5, and then the midfield's compact, and the number 10 just orbits. You've got a base there that could be really good.
I haven't seen lots of teams. Has he ever played like that in the past?
Well, yeah, he plays very high.
Eredivisie's pretty open. So a lot of managers, football. It's very open. A lot of high pressing. Yeah,
he needs time. I think we still have to be very, very careful because the fact is, I see Perchy's point. I think Perchy's making a good point there. But the point is, I think Walker and Rose are always at the club. They're always at the club.
Yeah, no, this isn't something that's going to take any time. No, it could take us all season to get it right.
Yeah, we remember Sunderland.
This guy's been on loan, and like I said, he was promised that he was going to come to Tottenham because he wanted to play for Antonio Conte, and Perisic sold it to him. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't coming to.
The same thing we did to Ndombele. You want to come play for Pochettino and play this attacking football?
I mean,
just kidding.
Ndombele was an absolute disaster. Though.
It was an absolute disaster. But the point is, I think Jake
it's the same point that you made.
Jake has made a fantastic point. Jake has made a fantastic point. Pochettino got sacked when Ndombele needed time with Pochettino. Yeah. Because that was the point, and look what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been different with Pochettino. We don't know. It could have been a disaster. We don't know. You know what I mean? I thought it was a big mistake. You know what I mean? I think that just shows you what Pochettino is all about. By the way, Pochettino's a great coach, not a good manager. Simple as that. But that's by the end of the my point is when Udogie, again, it's the same with Romero. If he's coming in with attitude, and he's not going to fit in with the ethos of what the club want, get rid. I'm sorry, get rid, because it's not going to do him any good. It's not going to do the club any good, and it's just going to be an absolute problem trying to fit somebody in just because they've got quality, they've got potential. No, sorry. if they don't fit the ethos of what Tottenham Hotspur want and what Arnold Slot wants, well, we don't know yet because we don't know if he's here yet, by the way. But if he doesn't fit what we want, get rid. Simple. You know what I mean? At least with Porro at the moment, even though he's defending badly, to be fair, I will give him this. We messed up so badly with the transfer, by the way. That didn't help. That didn't help him at all. Yeah.
He came a month late, didn't he?
I mean, I don't even know why we bothered getting him in anyway, because I mean, we're getting rid of Conte anyway. That was a bloody point anyway. So what's the point? But he's coming to a rubbish show, by the way, as well. Yeah, right. So I would give him a chance. You know what I mean? But I still think
my thought is this, Alex, and this kind of ties into what you were asking initially, Perchy. If your name ain't Harry Kane or Heung-min Son and you've been here for 4 or more years, it's time to go. So that list, I guess if I was to make it, would be so Kane, Son, Bentancur, I'd keep. I'd also keep Pedro, Porro for the reasons you listed, Alex. There's enough there to say I haven't seen enough, so I'm not writing him off. Same thing with Christian Romero. I think he's another staple that you can build a back line around, whether we go back to back 4 or back 3, whatever.
Yeah, that's 4.
And then I'm looking at the rest of these guys. I'll keep Udogie. I'll let Tanganga go. I'll keep Spence. I'll keep Skip and Sarr and Perisic. Let Højbjerg go. Let Davies go.
Keep Perisic? Really?
Yeah, I'd keep him on the bench. I think he could come in a game and do 10 minutes of work as a winger.
Perisic, by the way, is on 200 grand a week, by the way.
That doesn't bother me. I'm not writing that check.
I'd get rid of him. I'd get rid of
Perisic.
How are we going to get rid of him? We signed him to a 2-year deal on a free because no one wanted him.
Jacob, I'd get rid of him. Honestly.
But you have to mutually agree to do the sheen.
You also have to pay out too. So that 200 grand a week.
I don't see the point. I just don't see the point of him, to be honest with you.
What does Perisic offer, Parrin, across from a corner?
I think he can offer you a couple crosses, a couple set pieces in the last 10, 15 minutes of a match. I think he can.
We're basically paying 200 grand a week for a player that can cross a ball from a corner.
I'm not saying
that's really offer
how much we pay him is down to the people running the show.
No, I know that.
But I'm just saying players. I would. When I sheen, I'm thinking sheen.
Yeah, shing.
I love that.
But Jacob, here's the point that I wanted to make though with Perisic. If this is why we always talk ifs, because it may all change in about 5 minutes. But if Slot comes in, that is completely the opposite of Arne Slot player Ivan Perisic. That's my only point about it. If we could, I'm talking about it when I talk about players. I talk about it in light of what is the new manager going to want. And trust me, he will not want an Ivan Perisic at Spurs. I'm only just saying it from that. I think he's been such an underwhelming signing, by the way.
I agree. I expected more from him, but he got a handful of assists whenever he was playing that forward role. He got in Sonny's way, and I would argue that this is why I'm saying I don't need him as a starter. The fact that he could come in and immediately start on our squad is a terrible indictment on our squad. I agree. I think Perisic has enough quality in both of them boots that he could give us 10 minutes as a sub to whip some crosses into the box. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he'd be the great impact sign. I'm talking about players because we can't get rid of 20 players as much as I would love to. We can't get rid of 20 players at once. So if I'll keep him at least for the numbers part. But like I said, if you've been here for 4 more years and your name's not Kane or Son, it's time for you to go.
Can I just jump it? Elijah, you said he can play as a pressing forward. I've seen him run all season. It's like he's running in jelly all season. He's that slow. He can't. If you're going to ask, you're asking him
defend. I don't want to see him defend ever again.
I don't want to see him anywhere near a defensive position, by the way, because he's absolutely shocking. But I can't see him pressing all season. Yeah, if we keep him, you play him left wing. Scott's right here, by the way. You play him left wing if you have to. That literally. But for me, I sit there and I think Tom's just got away. He has got a load of assists, but look how many of them have come from a corner. By the way, that's the only difference. I can't see him pressing. He's 30. Yeah, Bobby's bang on it.
Yes,
he was good about 4 years.
10 minutes. An old, washed-up, world-class player can give you 10 minutes on the last end of his career. Because to be quite frank, I think the ripping up of the contract, we do have to be a little bit realistic here. Perisic, why would he say, yeah, rip up my contract when I'm on 200 grand a week? No, sir. Keep that contract, frame the contract, put it in your office because
No, I do get your
put it
point
in
in
a
that
safe,
sense. I do get it.
keep
It
it-
will be hard, but
and he
I
hasn't
think-
been here long enough for me. Again, I've hated him for about 20 matches this season. 20 to 25 matches. I've been like, I hate you, Perisic, because of what he offers. But again, he's being asked to defend.
lack of what
Why
he
are
offers,
we
yeah.
asking a 33-year-old and son, why are they defending?
Yeah.
I do think
No, I get that. I agree.
So
Well, I feel like Perisic is just asked to defend because he's a defender by trade, whereas Sonny isn't so
Perisic
much.
isn't.
Perisic is a left winger by
Perisic
trade, right?
is
He's played
really like a number
left
10.
winger. He started his career more defending, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was a bit of he was a number 10 a lot of the time, especially for Croatia. He plays as a 10.
Okay, I'm buying it.
But
I wouldn't argue.
he did
I
at
thought it was
times
a
play.
left wing, but-
When he got older, he started, especially at Italy. He dropped in and played like left wing and stuff, left wing back and stuff. But that was all because of when Conte and stuff was there. But and in Italy, you can get away with it because it's a lot slower
Right.
watching the football there. But
Oh,
but yeah, no more. When he was playing at like Bayern and all them, like he was playing out wide and playing. Sometimes he's playing down the middle. But I do get it. Listen, I think he can create, but I think his years are way gone. But yeah, but you say good corner takes are important, Tom. But I sit and think surely we can find some. We're basically saying, oh, you can sit on the corner flag and kick a ball in. It's like, I mean, yeah, great. We're paying you 200 grand a week for the privilege.
But
I know
I'm
it's
just
not
looking at
money
our
and stuff.
squad and I'm looking at who I'm ripping up. And Perisic is not on my list of people who've been here for 4 or more years. So he gets to stay by default. Davies is gone. Højbjerg is gone. Kulusevski can stay, maybe not. Forster can stay as a backup. Obviously, we need a legitimate number
I'll keep
one.
Forster.
But
That's a good shout.
Forster, he's a big, tall lad. Yes, it takes him a minute to get down, but he's kept us in a lot of games individually. So he's shown me enough. Royale, he hasn't hit that 4-year mark, so he gets to stay just for numbers' sake. Danjuma can stay. Bissouma can
If an offer
stay.
came in for Royale, I'd sell him. If someone came in and put some money on the table, I wouldn't rip his contract up. But if someone
because
put
we're
money
getting
on the
clogged
table
up.
for Royale, I'd let him go.
Absolutely. We're getting clogged up over there on the right. I mean,
Yeah.
when Jed Spence comes back, and then we also think like Reguilon's coming back. I mean, we're getting a lot of fucking right and left wing, but doesn't mean that they're all good. Sessegnon,
Reguilon's got to go. Got to go.
Who? Sessegnon?
Reggie.
Oh,
Sergio Reguilon.
Reguilon. I think both. I think Sessegnon and Reguilon should go. I think they're both poor.
Yeah.
But if you had to keep one, I'd keep Reguilon.
I'd
Probably
keep
over,
Reggie over Sess for sure.
over Sess. I think Sess is one of the worst players in our team, by the way.
You know what's
I
funny
genuinely
is
think he's
last
terrible.
season I was like so anti-Reguilon that I was like, give me Sess over him, and now Sess has played enough to where he's done such a good job at reversing my opinion, and I was dead wrong before saying Sessegnon over Reguilon. But again, I don't think either one are good enough. Reguilon plays like a fucking chicken with no head. He's just kicking that
both
thing. He's just
poor.
running and kicking. And I'm sorry, like he has one aspect of the game that you need. In today's game, you need pace and power, as my man Flawless would say. You need pace and power in today's game.
Yeah.
He's got pace, he just doesn't have power. He gets it's the same thing that I don't like. Why I don't like Hill, and I don't think he would work in this league. But that's another story. So that for me, it's a very short list of who I'm keeping. It's not enough to fill a roster nor a bench, but I don't know if we can rip up much more. I mean, guys, this has been a fantastic show. We've covered a lot. Actually, I don't feel like we ever got to a clear ending of the Romero talk. But you know,
We
maybe
can do
that,
it again if you want. I'm pumped up for it. I'm game. We
I'm
go for
still
another
trying-
2 hours, Jacob.
I
I think we
know.
should do me and you should have the battle on our channel, 1-on-1. Game on.
honestly, that's what I'm saying. People have been ducking me about this Romero beef. You know what I'm saying? I got.
Hey,
the
I'm not
Romero
ducking
squad.
you. Hey,
I
I'm
know.
not.
Hey, you're right here. You were ready to talk. But I appreciate you, Perchy, holding it down.
I
with me,
love you,
Colin.
mate.
Thank you as well for calling in. You see what I did there? Alex, always a pleasure. Blessed to have you. And thank you for making some time in your day. Real quick, I'll just go around the horn and say, Alex, when's the next time you're live? I'm gonna pull up your channel and stuff while you talk to us.
You know what the channel is. Everybody should know the channel already. I'm not going live at the moment because, well, you know, you're just getting small videos when I've got time. Yeah, as I said before, I'm not doing any reactive content because I ain't learning anything from Tottenham Hotspur anytime soon. I'm on the beach like some of the Tottenham Hotspur players are at the moment. But you will get new content, as I said before, working on it still. You'll get the good, the bad, and the bang average top 5 coming soon on Mr. Box Office TV.
Oh, what a title.
You also will get a Mr. Box Office Unleashed still, and that, as I said before, and that's all it is.
Wait,
and
there's a leash on?
Mr. Box Office, and that's it. The main event, the special Truth and Entertainment, Mr. Box Office TV, and that's how we do it every single time. And another message as well for certain things as well. I'm leaving out all day, every single day, and that's how we do it on Mr. Box Office TV. And I'm out. Back to you, Jacob. I'm done.
Leave you out.
I love it.
I'm glad I got you got
Mic
one of those
drop.
in. I've been waiting for and back to you, Jacob, to dig yourself another hole. I love that. You mostly do that to Sean, but shout out Sean Butler.
Oh,
Get well
big
soon,
up
buddy.
Spurs talk show, by the way. What a legend.
Yeah, great to see drop some content this morning that I got to see. So big up, Sean. Hope you're doing all right. Colin, when is the next time people can find you live? Oh, Bobby's putting in the links, and I did as well. But thank you, Bobby, for holding it down with the links. Colin, when's the next time you're live?
It's going to be Saturday. Going live Saturday, doing kind of a 2 p.m. Our time, my time, so it'll be 7 p.m. UK time. That's going to be my next live, and then I'm going to go Monday, Saturday. On the Monday is going to be at 10 p.m. my time, so like 2 in the morning.
Night. Yeah, early morning for the UK, late night for the USA.
Yeah, but then on Saturday, I'm trying to kind of get everybody involved. So, anybody who wants to be there can be there. It'll be at a decent time for everyone. So yeah, just hit that notification bell. On the channel, you'll always know when I'm going live, baby.
Yes, sir. Revamping up and redoing it all, bringing new content, Colin. Appreciate you joining again. Hopefully the YouTube world gets blessed with more of your presence because big fan of your late night call-ins, man. Perchy, I've got your channel here from Bobby K. You can click the link. The name is in the title as well.
Four people in the chat sub, and then
is
I'm
there
hitting
4
600
people?
today.
I'm gonna say
4
I know
of you beautiful people.
I know what's
hey,
the name?
I'm
Chelsea
doing it
Blue
right
and
now.
Blue. Yeah, come on, 4 people. Let's get Perchy to 600.
Give me 600. That'd be amazing. There's loads of stuff coming out soon for me. There's a video already scheduled to come out tomorrow that's pre-recorded. That will be talking about the Dutch delight that is Arne's slot. We've got a few loads. My plan. I'm trying to do a video a day. I'm trying to get into some really good content coming out. There's a content about who's going to stay in the Premier League that came out today. And then on Sunday, get the days right, we have Around the Grounds.
Yeah.
Jacob's a big fan. Alex was unlucky, missed it last week. He turned up literally as I finished, but we're going to try and get a few new faces, a load of people on for the final Around the Grounds.
Three more of y'all. There's 23 here.
3 beautiful
people.
Please do the needful. I will.
3 people.
I love you forever. If you could hit me, the Dutch. Massive. Thank you so much, whoever's subbed. But yeah, so we're going to do an Around the Grounds. It'll probably start kickoffs at 5:30 me. So probably an hour or maybe half an hour before we start. We have a real good chat, don't we, Jacob, really, on Around the Ground? We just have a bit of a chin wag.
But there are moments that I will be the one to break that up with some yelling or grunting of some kind, because it is early in the morning for me. I'm usually eating breakfast.
We called you in bed last time, which was quite a laugh.
Yeah,
it was quite a good start. You started from your bedroom, which was interesting. But listen, we talk about everything, not just Tottenham, because it's boring talking about Spurs half the time.
Yeah,
obviously you've got relegation battle and all that lot as well. So
a lot to look at this week, really. I mean, given that everyone's fucking playing at the same time.
Everyone's playing at the same time, exactly.
I don't like real quick before we do. Does everyone like that? I think it's a little.
It's the best.
It's a traffic jam, man. It's a traffic jam.
Yeah, but it's the best day. You have to do it.
Why not do games all day? Agree. Games all day and night. Fucking midnight kick.
Then other teams can see results and
it's a stop competition. Because obviously, if, for example, let's just keep it simple. Let's just say the title race is under wraps. Say, let's just keep it simple. That how can I explain it? So say say Man City played before Arsenal and they were both on points, and Man City drew, and then they're 1 point above Arsenal, let's just say, and Arsenal haven't played, but Arsenal have got a better goal difference, and they're playing against, let's just say they're playing against Leicester, who need a point to stay up. So it's to stop both teams going, do you know what? We both need a point here. Let's just play a draw out, and it'll be and cheat, basically. That's what it stops.
So you're saying that doing that causes everyone to play as hard as they can for that final match?
I mean, it depends, because what it does though, it means that you get some amazing entertainment though. Colin, I'm not sure if you or Alex or you.
But
guys
how
remember.
much amazing entertainment do we miss? Is my problem. I want to see it. I missed Leeds last season staying up off of a Rafinha goal. Come on, I would have loved to see that.
But you do. Match of the day, best time.
They don't have that in America. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no, I'm only playing with you. But no, but you got, there was a few seasons ago, it was probably about a decade, it was about 10 years ago, I can't remember. There was 5 teams going challenging basically for all 3 teams could go down. There was like 5 or 6 teams, if anyone remember. And they did the thing where it was like, everyone was changing because a goal would go in and someone would stay up and then they would concede.
But then you have fans
at
at the stadium, like they're like at the stadium watching the game, keeping up with their phone.
No.
I'd rather
it used to. I mean, it's a bit
game.
different now because a lot of them have it on their phones now. But it used to be when you didn't have smartphones, everyone on the final day, if for example, especially if you're in a relegation battle or win it or challenging for the title, you all had these little pocket radios. So everyone would have the pocket radios, have it on with the other game on so you could hear what's going on. And that one person, you'd have everyone surrounding that one person, especially if you were in a relegation battle when you were losing, but you knew that you could get away with losing, but you just didn't need the other team to win. So you'd all be crowding out, hoping they don't score. And then you would hear, and then there was a little story. I feel like we're just going a little bit of a tangent, but there was a great story. I don't know if you guys will remember, where someone in the crowd said that someone had scored and it spread round to even the staff, and they thought another team had scored, so they didn't need to score another goal. So as a point basically would have kept him up, and they thought the other team they're playing were losing. Turns out it was the other way around. They actually were winning and they needed to win. And they sat off for basically 15 minutes and then they got reminded. It really annoyed me. I'll find it somehow. I'll let you guys.
That's interesting.
It's hilarious.
That's why I brought up the question, because I was like, that's something I think about. Like, why is it a big traffic jam? I mean, there are aspects like that could come into play, and I see it. I love it, but the only knock I have on it is I feel like it's so much entertainment that I miss out on. And I'm a big live guy. I like when I watch a live stream, like a show on YouTube, I like watching them live. I like tuning in, being part of the chat. If I'm watching a match, a sporting match of any kind, I prefer to watch it live. But it's like, I'm always going to watch Tottenham. I'm not going to turn the Tottenham game off just because we're winning 5-0 versus Norwich. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to cry and hold Sonny metaphorically in my arms. And hypothetically.
I think Tom's just put. I think he's got right. There was a cheer at Liverpool, and they thought they thought that someone had scored, so they kind of thought they'd like, they had to do something about it. Yeah. I think Tom might be right. There was a goal, but it actually never happened. It didn't happen in reality, but it was just someone in the crowd cheering when it didn't happen.
I love his little boy who cried wolf or something like that. It's a little fun. But nowadays you can't do that because the whole coaching staff has iPads right there.
Yeah, nowadays it doesn't happen because everyone's got computers and they've got people basically they've got earpieces and they're keeping everyone updated what's going on anyway. But this will come from around the ground. So if you want this amazing insight, by the way, guys,
I'm excited. Yeah,
tune in on Sunday. Jacob, are you going to come along and watch it with me? Join in?
Yeah, I'll definitely, at least for a half, first or second. I'm not sure, but I enjoy it.
Colin, you're also welcome to jump in as well, mate. You're always welcome. On Sunday.
Sounds awesome, dude. I'd love to be there.
Big ups. Well, I hope all of y'all have enjoyed this show. I've had a great time on Talk About It Tuesday. I think I'm about starting a little Tuesday show, just working some titles in there. Let me know what you think in the comments after the video's done. We have hit 51 likes, so big ups to every single one of y'all that came through and smashed the like. The voting poll is coming to an end. Arne Slot seems to be the taco meat of today. That's a little something I'm going to try and bring on this Tuesday show. We'll figure out what the meat of your taco is next time, but for this week, Arne Slot gets 41%. and depression season over, please gets 25%. So very applicable answers there. And what came in last place? Perchy, I told you before the show, I thought it would for sure get second or first. People being like, what are you talking about? Taco meat. But you know what? You let the taco meat hang out sometimes and you never know what you might attract. Today, taco meat winner was Arne Slot. So big up Arne Slot.
Big up Arne Slot.
We will on this channel, we will talk about him a little bit more in depth, but there's just a slew of topics I wanted to get through, and obviously KANE and Romero are going to take precedent over a manager in which we only are linked to, and I've only seen his press conference from ESPN where he's like, I do not know what you're talking about. I do not speak on this. I am a fair nerd. I'm working on my Arne Slot, okay? It's new. I've only listened to a few press conferences. I'm working on it. But also I want to say, one day. I also want to say big up to Mia for the super chat. Big up Hotspur, the newest member of the Lovers Lane, but now he's double dipping as well. He's an official supporter on the Patreon and a member. So big up grabbing your membership, Hotspur. I really do appreciate that, helping the channel. Goguma as well, coming in with the super chat and a super sticker. Goguma doubling up with the supers. Big up Goguma for all the support she shows to all the channels, the empress of YouTube, as I like to say. But big up yourselves, Goguma, Mia, and Todd Spurs getting the membership. So if you want to get your membership, links down there below. Patreon link down there below. I'm not going to beat the hammer over the horse, but please do, or beat the horse over the hammer, whatever the saying is. Please do hit that like on your way out if you haven't already. Share this video with your mother, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your niece, and your nephew. They all want to watch United Spurs of America. So go ahead and direct them on this way. Big ups to the 2 new subscribers who subscribed to the channel as well. We are now at 1,316. So big ups to the 1,316. Yes, I appreciate the support. So does Michael. Michael's working like a normal human at this hour. So that's why I'm bringing you a show sans Michael. But he will be back this weekend. Don't you worry. But until next time, I really just want to say big ups to everyone in the comments. Y'all really kept it going. Again, I know some of the I might have missed some comments and stuff that I didn't highlight, etc. But well, you know, sometimes these shows get popping, and when I guess start talking about Romero, the chat was flying, so I might have missed some around there. And you know, I hope the next show we can talk some more about Romero and Arne Slot. So be tuned in for that. We should have something either Saturday or Sunday. We've been kind of alternating. Whenever we play, we'll do something on Saturday. If we play on Saturday, we'll do something on Sunday. But you know, this is a special weekend, so also trying to not clog the airways, make sure there's plenty of playtime for everyone to have.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah. No worries. We'll talk about that. But big ups to everyone who's been here. Keep it locked. We will have something this weekend coming at you. So big ups to you if you will be there. And if you watch us back on replay, please do tell us what you think in the comments. Let us know in the comments. Comments do also help the algorithm. So please do keep liking, commenting, sharing, all that fun business. But you know what? That's going to do it here for me today, at least. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. This has been another fantastic Tuesday. And until next time, all we can say is up the lads and come on, you Spurs. Coys.
Spurs of America with your hosts Michael and Jacob.